Hello everyone, happy Monday. It is time for the Australian Grand Prix, and we've just as you join me, we got Marski coming out of the garage now, as we have just entered the opening stage of the Australian Grand Prix qualifying session. This is round number 19 then of the championship in ALR Silver. Silver is almost done dusted, isn't it? With a young Tommy, of course, being the fourth ever champion of silver. We have got Fanjo, who is very much home and dry here tonight, then, because Immortal needs to outscore him by 5 points, but Immortal's not even here tonight. So Fanjo is confirmed that he is going to be promoted into gold for next season. Immortal is 17 points in front of Dylan, then. So can Dylan get second or higher tonight to get himself back into that promotion spot? Then there's a gap opening there for Dylan. Can he squeeze that? Can he squeeze himself into that gap then? Maybe get himself back into the promotion spot then. That is the aim for Dylan tonight. Then, of course, V Todd then is unfortunately mathematically out of the battle for promotion spot. Wilson then 5 points away from the magical 100 mark. New Potato in 7th position then in the championship. Gordo, a very good renaissance as of late, and he has moved himself into 8th then in the championship with Wattleshman out of 9th, and Sir Smusham just leapfrogs his teammate Farfa, moves into 10th position. In the relegation, so we have Florin, Keza and Senna, unfortunately again relegated into a bronze at the moment, haven't they? Having said that though, that might take that with a pinch of salt, because of course, there's, for example, Keza and Senna have only participated in a handful of Grand Prix this season, haven't they? Gordo and Wilson, two drivers so far, have invalidated both their lap times on their first attempt now. Unfortunately, in the Constructors' Championship, then the AlphaTauri are leading by 114 points out of the Constructors' Champions. And that is the first team to be confirmed, the Constructors' Champions for this season in ALR. Good stuff indeed. The Mercedes are trying to get second position, and they can get second then if Williams don't score 19 points then, or outscore Mercedes by 19 points here tonight then. So basically that's what Williams got to do tonight. And McLaren are 127 points behind the Williams team in fourth position. They ain't going to get any higher in the constructors this season. Haas are fifth and 18 points away from the McLaren team. Alpine are in sixth position, 4 points away from the Haas team. Alfa Romeo 7th, Aston Martin are 8th, they're 15 points away from the 100 mark. 9 positions the Ferrari team now dropped behind the Aston Martin team. 10th position is the Red Bull team on 81 points there. Excuse me. I think last week we had Alpine, who have actually doubled their minus account then, unfortunately, and that's why Alpine have dropped down even further in the Constructors' Championship. Unfortunately, they're on a bit of a nightmare season, aren't they? Alpine are now, they are actually 6th in the Constructors' Championship as well then, but unfortunately, a lot of pitting and quitting there from the French team. Marski has gone quickest and on the 23, then starts on the journey here in ALR Silver tonight. And of course, there is still the opening of becoming a part of the gold division for next season. So that is what some drivers are, and some drivers are going to be trying to participate in tonight. And Fanjo has gone faster so far in the Williams team. Fanjo has got 5 pole positions in 11 qualifying sessions in silver so far, so he has really made a name for himself in silver, as he's been pretty impressive indeed. Then Wilson going into turn 10 then around Albert Park here in Melbourne, then Australia. And of course, usually it starts off the circuit usually starts off the opening of silver, doesn't it, or any of the ALR World Championships, but however this season that is not the case at all, is it? As Australia is one of the last was one of the later races this year, isn't there? Of course, very much similar to back in '95 when Adelaide was hosting the Australian Grand Prix between '85, was it? And 95, good gosh, that was the season finale in Adelaide, Australia, wasn't there? The last race at Adelaide, Australia, believe it or not, then I think David Hill won that race by 2 laps. And if you ever thought that Hamilton and Schumacher's domination was quite extreme in the early 2000s, and of course Hamilton, as of recently, up until yesterday anyway, then yeah, David Hill won that race by 2 laps, albeit I think wasn't there only 8 cars that finished that race in the end. There was a lot of retirements, wasn't there, as everyone was just falling out of the race. Well, I think even was it Panis Ligier was also starting to blow up as well in the final couple of laps, and Gianni Morbidelli then getting I think podium there as well. So good stuff indeed there for Gianni Morbidelli, who was very much who was a bit of a was here down there for a Gianni Morbidelli. Was of course his last season in Formula 1 was back in '97 there. I don't know why, I had a soft spot for Gianni Morbidelli, I don't know why. The Italian driver in the he's driving for the Footwork, then probably one of the worst team's name you'll ever hear in Formula 1, the Footwork, then, which of course was actually the Arrows team. They renamed themselves to the Footwork team before went back to Arrows in '96 onwards, and when Tom Walkinshaw returned, when Tom Walkinshaw was at the helm of the team then for '96, '97 and '98, wasn't he as well? Possibly, I think he was actually in it for longer than that, wasn't he? Or something like that. But yes, so that was yeah, I'm glad that the Footwork name just dropped off the grid, and it's a shame that the Arrows team dropped off the grid in Formula 1 in 2002, was it there? As they just ran out of finances, didn't they? Which is such a shame, because it's probably one of the best liveries a Formula 1 car has ever had, in my opinion, there, along with the Jordan livery as well. The I gotta say, late 90s and early 2000s livery was spot on there. Really loved all of them there. Jordan had two Supreme Marskis out of the qualifying session. He has gone off. Where has he gone off? He's gone off in the final corner. Marski has there. Michael Schumacher crashed there, didn't he, in one of the early qualifying sessions? Well, no, it wasn't early qualifying. Wasn't it 2005 potentially? I think it was, wasn't it? Or 2006? And yes, so Coulthard's also been off there as well. Marski out qualifying. He's going to be kicking himself on that one, unfortunately. Dylan across the line then to start us up then as we go, as we're just watching the bronze world champion then, of course. Oh gosh, there Dylan is clouted the barrier. He had a lot of oversteer in the car, and that is his first lap done and dusted there, but luckily he is able to continue and get back to the pits and get some TLC on the AlphaTauri car. Of course, AlphaTauri are the Constructors' Champions, and I have a feeling that they are going to be Constructors' Champions for the COBALT as well. Now, I'm going to have to check my stat book, but I'm sure that that'll be the first time in our history we're going to have two of the same constructor that could win the Constructors' Championship as well. Of course, AlphaTauri in the joint constructors there are very close to winning that as well. They could clinch it this week. They have not clinched it just yet then in gold then. However, they can clinch it here tonight as well. Results have to go their way, but they can clinch it tomorrow night in bronze then, if all the dominoes fall in the right surroundings or something like that then. At the moment we have lost Liam Yeh, who's out qualifying, then Liam Yeh, who returns to silver after quite a lengthy absence. So great to see Liam Yeh back in the cockpit in silver. We have got Nunda, who is also back in LR. He hasn't raced in LR for a while, has he? He did do a Super Sub appearance earlier on the season, but Nunda also driving here tonight as well, and it's a bit of an old guard here tonight, Vale. Oh goodness gracious me there. We've also got Lights out on circuit as well. Then back into the pits comes Dylan at the moment there, after he made a mistake then on the it used to be the Alan Jones chicane, didn't it? I don't think it is anymore, is it? But it's turn 1 and 2 then for tonight's proceedings. Nunda across the line starts out then, but we're just watching Bradfield out of turn 16 then in Albert Park. Goes across the line fast so far, Bradfield is as well, by 0.2 of a second from Fanjob. That is a statement of intent there from Bradfield. That's a really good time indeed there from the Red Bull driver. Nunda then, who's in the just coming out of the car park as well, just watching Lights then, who is just coming in to turn number 12 and 11 and 12, and that's a very precarious point of the circuit. And we didn't see much action there, did we, last night there? I think there was 1 or 2 instances there, but nothing else there. You're just watching Nunda, who is in the middle party lap as well. I'm on board now with Nunda, and this is I think that has he raced in silver before, Nunda? Let me get out my old Excel spreadsheet, shall we? I don't think he has, to be honest. He has indeed, I'm telling Porkies. This is Nunda's 5th Grand Prix with in silver. Then Nunda's had, of course, his best result in silver was a podium as well, and that was 3rd position. And he's only ever scored once in silver, which was that 3rd position. Apart from that, he has not scored in any other Grand Prix, but he hasn't DNF'd in any silver races either then, so for Nunda. So it's phenomenal feast then for Nunda out of the final turn for the Alpine car, and across the line he comes over the grid hatchings, and Nunda goes second fast and cannot Bradfield is about 100th of a second in front of Nunda. Bradfield's gone quicker again then. He is looking very sweet at the moment. There is the Bradfield is flying out there in the Red Bull. Lovely jubbly indeed then. We've got flying out on circuit. Serious Pressure is just starting his lap side, and he is hacksawing away that steering wheel. We're just going to stick with Young Lights at the moment. Young Lights, another one of the ALR old school here tonight, and goodness gracious me, it's Back to the Future there. Young Lights has also been a part of Silver as well, and he is also his best race position, best performance in Silver was actually third position as well there for Lights. He's got a 50% finish rate in Silver with 1 DNF and 1 finish, and that is at third position on the podium as well then for Young Lights then. And so Young Lights is unfortunately invalidated this time again now. So we're going to stick with Serious Mushroom, who's participated in every single Silver event, and this is 83rd star in Silver for Serious Mushroom, of course. And yeah, so very impressive indeed for Serious Mushroom. And DRS and right on the money. We didn't see much of the DRS last night in qualifying because we had a lot of rain to start the qualifying session earlier on. Last night. Goodness gracious me, then there was a lot of rain, wasn't there? Of course, we've had some rain-affected Australian Grand Prix over the years, haven't we? 2010 comes straight to mind. Then with Jenson Button won his only a second Grand Prix in the McLaren Mercedes, and back in 2010, Serious Russian goes 6th fastest. Then as this qualifying session is kind of really it's more of a practice session. Really, there's not really a competitive edge to this one, unfortunately. As we have lost Maldonado, Marski, who's crashed off, unfortunately, Clarkey, Liam, Young, Tommy, Wilson, and Wilson has qualified then, so I think we may have our 5 all drivers got to do is just get around and set a time, because it looks like that we have our 5 drivers through. In the form of we've got Tommy, who's out of qualifying already, along with Welshman, out of Marski, Clarkey, and Liam. Then, but of course, the other drivers still have to get a time on the board down there. On board Florin, then, who's currently in the relegation zone at the moment. And Florin is in the McLaren team. Florin, then, this is going to be his 7th Grand Prix start in the McLaren. He at the moment, because we do a certain percentage, don't we? I think you have to be participating 30% of the Grand Prix or something like that to get relegated. Well, unfortunately, Florin is done 7 races then in Silver, and he is now 8th fast, and so Florin has really got to get some results, doesn't he, for the McLaren driver, as we just seen someone else go across the line. I didn't see who it was, unfortunately. There, it's the Young Lights gone fast there by 0.2 of a second, and he got it in the groove there. Young Lights did in the end. However, he did have to get 2 or 3 bites to the cherry, and Dylan was the other driver, and has got himself through. Remember, Dylan is fighting for that promotion spot in to gold for next season, and Dylan could do a German here. Remember, German is the latest world champion of ALR Gold as well, isn't he? The 4th ever world champion of ALR Gold, I should say. And I wonder if Dylan could do something similar to German then. But of course, German didn't win bronze, but he won silver at the Championship of Silver. Dylan ain't going to win the Championship of Silver, but however, he can get promoted into gold and maybe win gold in the future then. Of course, that was only German's second season in gold, wasn't it, for German? So pretty impressive indeed then. Keza, who's taken part in 2 races so far in his silver career. He has he's had his 8th for the 7th so far, which is not a bad start to your career. Not a bad start to the career, I would hazard a guess. I got real bad indigestion. Right then, let's take a look at the comments then. Young Light saying, hey, Sean, first ever silver race, looking forward to it then. I think it's your 3rd, my good sir. We got Chaz saying hello there. We've also got Serious Russian saying evening all stacked lobby. I am not looking too good there. Serious Russian saying, and Nuna saying evening then. We got saying I forgot to save my setup, get one off the internet. Won't be quick there. Gore saying, can hardly see the track from the sun. Also, I'm slow as everything. Losing the 10th, a whole second in sector 3 then. Also, hello. Diashi saying, Sean, my love, bad. We've also got Sean is my love, and as is ALR as well. I've qualified the last 3 weeks, but not by choice then, because I was retired now. All 3 races I've not getting points then. Qualifying equals no points. Watch Liam and Tommy win this then. Wilson saying that. Unfortunately, Wilson is actually right about that, because I think Dan Murphy, who did some qualifying session there, he's not a fan of qualifying, is he, Dan? Is in there, but when he doesn't qualify, he does seem to do better, doesn't he? Dan does, which is a shame really, because surely you should be rewarded for qualifying there. However, But however, it looks like this game does kind of it does reward you by not getting into qualifying 2 or 3 and all that kind of stuff. On board New Patel, then the first air bronze champion in ALR history. He's done a 52 in the second split time as well, taking it very cautiously through 11 and 12 here. He doesn't want to go off into the barrier too hard here. Sorry, Bradfield, didn't even see you until the last minute there, as I have a feeling it's Serious Mushroom and Bradfield have tripped over each other somewhere in the circuit. But however, they should be safely through anyway, so hopefully no harm, no foul. But of course, Bradfield or Serious Mushroom does have the option then to take it to the steward's room if they like. And I'm sure, look, there's a wheel off there. That's Marsky's wheel, by the way, which he needs to pick that up, I think. New Potato across the line now. He has done he's 11 faster than New Potato is. I don't think that's his strongest performance there in ALR League. We're on board with third one as Young Light's gone quicker and has found some more time in the piggy bank now for the Mercedes driver. So good stuff indeed there. Mercedes have unfortunately they couldn't get the job done in Brazil last week, could they? And unfortunately, because of that, then they I think that they're basically in no man's land now, aren't they, in the Constructors' Championship? So I think second position is all they can aim for. But do not worry about that, because you can still have a go at the joint constructors set. Here is Slayer out of the final turn. Then, by the way, Slayer's got a lovely helmet design there. Fantastic stuff there from the Red Bull driver and the Red Bull team of Slayer goes across the line, going 7 fast, and both Red Bulls are 2nd and 7th at the moment there. Lovely. Reflections in the pits among the reflections may be a list of drivers that are out of this qualifying session now, as it's going to be reflections. Liam, Clarkey, Maldonado and Marsky. Then whether Farf is going to join them or not, I do not know. However, Farf, that is not the track there for Farf, and he's clipped the barrier there. Farf has there in the Haas car. Luckily, this one is not very competitive tonight then, so yes, he might be able to get through that. By the way, Farf's got a beautiful helmet. I love it. Paige, evening all. Good evening to Paige there, of course. Paige on the podium in the last couple of races in COBALT there. Hopefully she'll be racing again in COBALT this week then. Of course, COBALT, there's a lot on the line for COBALT. COBALT has got the most on the line out of all the leagues so far. This one here tonight, then there are still a couple of promotion spots up for grabs into gold for next season. Of course, we have got bronze tomorrow night as well. I feel the youngest ever champion in ALR history will be in action there. But we've still got Ayrton and Joseph vying for that 2nd and 3rd spot then to get promoted into silver. And then the COBALT as well, then Hammer Time and Starbust are going for the championship, aren't they? Paris is still there mathematically, however it's a bit unrealistic unless both the championship protagonists have issues there. Reflections is down in 20th position in the Ferrari, unfortunately, so that's a shame then. Well, let's see how he does that. But of course, so in the COBALT Championship, then it's going to get very interesting indeed. Then Hammer Time has confirmed that he will be joining in bronze for next season, won't he? But the question is, who will be joining them? But Hammer Time, will he be going in the championship, going into bronze then as the COBALT champion? That is what his aim is going to be, surely, there for Hammer Time. But that win last week in Brazil has really boosted his odds there. Has really boosted his odds, hasn't it? So good stuff indeed there for Hammer Time. But Starbust has really got to take the fight Wednesday night if he wants to keep the championship alive. Far through is just crawling then in Sector 2. He should be able to get through here. However, he needs to be within a sensible time of Marsky, I think. No, Tommy hasn't set a time, has he? So Farf could probably cruise over the line then and get the time on the board then. And Sergio was saying can't select tires this game. We've also got Gordon saying if you go to setup then go back, it should let you try to but thanks Gordon. And so Serious Mushroom then of course not enjoying this season in silver, is he? Serious Mushroom, this is statistically Serious Mushroom's worst season in silver, unfortunately. And it's the same with Farf as well. The Haas Perrin, who I thought was going to be challenging for the Constructors' Championship this season, along with the Williams team of Maldonado and New Potato then, but unfortunately that's not come to pass, has it? As both teams there have been a bit disappointing, haven't they, really? As Farf is burning rubber then, as he is just coming across the line as well. So let's see what he could do then. For Slayer saying disappointed, you didn't notice my I finally did my helmet design shot then. Oh, I did notice it, Slayer, then. I was I mentioned it then, but of course that is the first time the Slayers have done a non-default helmet all season then, so Yes, indeed. Very good 17th there for Slayer. That's why I did mention it as well then. But yes, I didn't mention the default part there. Right, out of qualifying then was it's Younglines who's fast there by 3/10 seconds from New Potato in second, and Bradfield in a very solid third position. Amazing stuff indeed there. Out of qualifying, we have lost 6 drivers in this one. Reflections out of qualifying: Liam, Clarkey, Waldenot, Sir, Young, Tommy, and Marsky. So 6 drivers out of qualifying 1 as we proceed into qualifying 2 then. So Cyrus Mushroom definitely noticed Slayer's helmet design. He definitely noted Jeff the Slayer then. Right, we now proceed into qualifying 2. 15 minutes for this second qualifying session. Now we're going to be losing another 4 drivers this time rather than 5. And we lost 6 in that one because of Marsky hit the outside barrier quite heavily there. Marsky did, who's been one of my top drivers of the season. Really good 70. That also remember as well. Of course, we do have the awards coming up in the next couple of weeks or so as well, as well as the season reviews. And of course for ALR Gold, Silver, Bronze, and Cobalt. Then of course, so keep an eye out for that. That's going over the Christmas period. Then as we now whittle down then into the final stages then of the ALR Championship here tonight then. So yes, we've got only 7 more races to go then. Unfortunately, we've lost a subscriber over the last day or two, so we've got 7 more subscribers then for me to get myself a big old Galaxy bar. So I'm really holding all my hope then on you guys then to get 7 more subscribers, which means that I can celebrate with a big old Galaxy bar over this Christmas period. Then. Out on the track then is Fanjo. Then you can see the pegs then feeds directly into the entry into turn 1. It's not really a major problem around here, is there? So I don't expect any too many major problems. So we've got Dylan also out on circuit as well, but we've got a lovely shot here of the garages then as we got the Mercedes garage. Both were empty because V Todd and Lights then is out on circuit at the moment. Formula 1 saying, I didn't hear it on the stream, Sean. I did it just for you then, and I'm very happy about that then, because I think your helmet is the most important part of your racing repertoire. Unless, also the second part of your important part of the racing repertoire is not to hit the barrier, which Fanjo has just done there. I think he was probably adjusting something on the steering wheel, but unfortunately he has had a clout with the barrier. Hopefully he hasn't damaged the car too much. There we got Wilson and Farfar, two of the best rest wheels wheel combaters in all of ALR Silver. I absolutely love watching those two battle with other drivers, and it's probably the highlight of my silver season thus far, along with Tommy's incredible performances this season, and also Dylan as well. And really the 2 in the championship and the top 4 in the championship was not raced in silver last season, were they? So that just shows how incredible this season's been then. So Sirius Rush saying it's the car, Sean. It is indeed then the car. As I think that Sirius Rush just replying to my comment about it being his worst season statistically in ALR Silver. I would not disagree with that one iota. Then Sirius Rush was a very unhappy chappy about being in the Haas team, and also probably he's got Farf as his teammate as well, which is probably quite distracting, isn't it? Farf on the opposite side of the garage. Of course, I Joss then. Of course, Farf overall then he's 4-time Grand Prix winner in ALR, 3 times in gold. Then he's done it once in silver as well. But Farf is a very much phenomenal feast then, isn't he? In his ALR Formula 1 career thus far, but I feel that he is really building towards the future. Farf is, and I'm expecting big things from Farf next season. I do say it quite a lot then, but Farf has got the talent there. He just needs to produce it on the circuit, doesn't he? Really, a bit like Tsunoda, I would say. Of course, Tsunoda did a good job yesterday as well, didn't he? In the final race in Abu Dhabi, and goodness gracious me, what an incredible end then to the Formula 1 season. Dylan has absolutely nailed turn 11 and 12, by the way. That was fantastic. That is the best I've seen anyone nail that 2 corners so far this session. They're brilliant. He's gone a bit wide there out of 13. And yes, of course, Abu Dhabi, Max Verstappen is, of course, the world champion of 2021 and a Honda's 4th champion as well, which I was quite surprised by that statistic. Of course, Ayrton Senna was one of the Honda. It was at the Honda World Championship. Was it Nelson Piquet was a Honda champion as well? And across the line there goes Dylan there, who is fastest so far. I can't remember who the 4th one is. Oh gosh, I'm going to be kicking myself. Well, I'm going to kick myself in a minute then. I can't remember who's the 4th one. Oh gosh, then I can't remember. The shocking behaviour. Dylan there, who is fast and far for second fastest. Bradfield is third fastest at the moment now. Serious rushing out qualifying so far. We got Fanjo, who is invalidated as that. Then we've got a car being swirled back into the pits. And Kaza has gone fast. And Keza is on pole position in his debut race in silver. Really impressive stuff from Keza. However, it went a bit peaked on in Brazil there. And there were some issues in qualifying now. I think there was a family matter for Keza to deal with, wasn't there? So we cannot begrudge him of that one. But here tonight, he's doing a great job there. New Potato down to the Brundle curve as well. Gordo out of the final turn and in the Ferrari. Gordo is very much on fine vessel at the moment. And as he comes across the line, he's fifth fastest on the medium compound tires in car 12. Dylan there is just crawling back to the garage then, who is out on circuit 1, and Nunda is out on circuit. We've got V Todd, who's out there as well in the middle part of the lap then. New Potato is also in the middle part of the lap then. Wilson is in the pits then, so we're going to stick with V Todd for the minute as he flies past us. I love that shot, by the way, fantastic indeed. Look at him go! Oh, great! And just powering out of turn 12 there, going into 13 and 14 now then. For 13 then, not as tight as 14 is it there? It's all but V Todd there, getting a bit squirrely on the old exit curve there into the slowest turn on the circuit then. Turn 15 then, dropping down to second gear, about just under 60 miles an hour then. Out the final turn of 16 as well, and DRS and on the exit. Of course, Sutil got that spectacularly wrong, didn't he, in 2011 there? And that was one of the first times you ever used DRS as well, wasn't it? Was Sutil in the 2011 qualified session there. Of course, back then, DRS you was allowed to use DRS all the way around the circuit, wasn't it? Not just in the DRS detection zones, but always young lights crashed as well. Goodness me, what's happening with these drivers like that? So I'm wondering if they're just looking down at their dashboards there, and it's not really helping them at all, is it? Of course, in 2011 and 2012, the drivers was able to use DRS all the way around the circuit. Whether that rule should come back or not, I would say yes, but that's because I loved it. Because it really did, it really was quite scary, some of the stuff, some of the times that they did use that. Of course, the drivers is probably not very safe, to be honest, isn't it? Because the drivers have to manually deactivate it on some parts of the circuit there, which is why 2013 onwards till today, you're allowed to use DRS in the DRS activation zones. Here's Florin then in 13th position. He hasn't set a time just yet, and only 6 cars set a time so far as we're approaching half distance in this qualifying 2 session. Florin across the line then, and let's go on board then. We have a lap then with the McLaren driver, inch perfect there. Lovely stuff indeed there. I'm so impressed every time then they just keep going into turn 11 and 12, into 1 and 2 there, time after time after time, and they just keep hitting the apexes, going and nailing the entry, nailing the exit. Fantastic stuff indeed there through turn 4, which is a car park any other time of the year. Getting a bit squirrely on the exit as well, then down into under the trees into 7 as well, and Florin is taking so much curb, but that is confidence in the man. Very good stuff indeed. Serious Russia is throwing his prediction for pole position, Keza or Bradfield, and I think that's a very good shout. Bradfield is looking very much on it like a car bonnet here tonight. It's great to see as well, Bradfield. I was surprised to take a look at Bradfield's notes earlier on, because I sound like a doctor, don't I? But the only doctor I am is probably Dr. Jones from that Aqua song then, rather than Dr. Jones from Indiana Jones. But nevertheless, Bradfield is, I think, his highest position in silver. It's only 5th, which I'm absolutely surprised by, because Bradfield is so quick on occasions there that he probably deserves to be higher than 5th, doesn't he? Doesn't he, Bradfield does? But I'm sure that is something that he would like to put right there. Here's Florin out the final turn, and the McLaren team cross the line. He is fast now, 2/10 second in front of Keza. That's a statement of intent there for the McLaren driver as well. Lovely. So looking at this is looking quite strong indeed. Wilson's got another track invalidation there, Wilson. So he's going to be a bit frustrated then. We've got New Potato just preparing the car as well. Oh, maybe Lights said Serious must be saying as well. So maybe Young Lights as well. New Potato then out of, getting a bit squirrely on the exit there of turn number 16, and across the line then, V-Tot then goes me. Serious Russia there is going for all the way through the grid then at the moment, isn't he? On board now with New Potato in the first hour, bronze champion there, as he clinched then when he was having a Goliath battle between himself and Energetics, wasn't he, in the first ever bronze season. Really impressive stuff indeed there. Of course, Gurman finished third that season as well. Of course, 4 seasons later, Gurman is the champion champion of gold there, is it? And I think that I do feel very warm and fuzzy. Or Jeff, or Jake, or Nunda. Oh goodness me, or Dylan. Oh goodness gracious me, that Serious Russia there is definitely making sure that he keeps his definitely very much spreading his beans and putting them in each bowl there. Talking of which, then the UEFA didn't do very good with their bowls earlier on today, did they? As they seemed to mess up. They draw, didn't they? And they had to redo it, didn't they? Which was a shame now for the Champions League draw. I didn't really see who got who, to be honest, because I've been at work for most of the day then, but I just read it on Sky Sports News and found that quite hilarious. Fanjo getting out of the way, of course, is the Williams teammates would not like to trip over each other. Going into 13, then there's Noob Patel then, who is coming into 15 and 16 as well then, dropping down into first gear there, 50 miles an hour for Noob Patel then. Out of the far turn, then Noob Patel has been on pole position once this season there. Williams been on pole position 8-9 times so far this season, and the Williams are really impressive in qualifying trim in silver. Medium tires out for Noob Patel then, but that should see him come through at the moment there. But of course, the bar is going to lower and higher as we go on through here. As Dylan, it's invalidated his time, so he's going to have to go around again there. Lights there is also on a lap. Young Tommy, evening everyone, good evening. Young Tommy there, Young Tommy out qualifying earlier on this Grand Prix event here tonight. On board with Fanjo. We had 3 safety cars last night around here, didn't we? Which really congested the final classification as well. Ferrari have got a 12-point deficit between themselves and McLaren in the Constructors' Championship in gold. Then that is what is on the line then for the constructors for gold. Then in Abu Dhabi in a week's time, then it's the constructors' title will be on the line, of course. And the last race of 2021 then on in ALR, of course, for gold. Then so yes, that is Fanjo's invalidated this time. They're getting a bit too greedy, unfortunately. So that is a track invalidation with 4 minutes to go in this qualifying session there. On board with Lights and Lights there. Oh goodness me, that back end to try and overtake the front there. But yes, gold then next week. Then the Constructors' Championship on the line. 12 points separates the two constructors as well. McLaren and Ferrari. And Troy has been superb, has he? Another second position last night, and really very much on fine Vettel, and he probably could have won that race as well if the chips foul better to him. Then Lights there is very much overshot turn at 15 there. He's doing David Coulthard racing line out of there. So Lights there, he's going to put a time on the board then. It's still going to be quite quick there. It's still turning fast there for Lights there, but there's much more time to come from the Mercedes driver. Fanjo to the Brundle turn then. We've got McLaren of Wilson there charging up his battery and ready to let it rip then. We've also got Slayer out there as well as Fanjo there, who is taking it very much, taking a lot of liberties there through turn 6 there. Goodness gracious me. Good grief there from Fanjo. But he kept it very much stuck in there. Gotta say, that's just confidence of the man, isn't it? I'd love to have seen Fanjo against Young Tommy throughout the season now. Whether I still think that Young Tommy though, would he have prevailed over Fanjo? Possibly. However, of course then we're never going to see that again this season. But I think Young Tommy's been in such fine form this season. He has been absolutely incredible because listen to these stats for this season. I do live and die by my stats, and 17 starts this season for Young Tommy. He's finished in the points in every single race that he has started in silver this season, and that's what's won the Drivers' Championship. Of course, 13 podiums as well, and that is 4 more than the second highest, which is Fanjo as well. But of course, Fanjo only started 8 Grand Prix this season. Serious Russian evening, Tommy, lad, get out. Goodness me. So unfortunately, I think Young Tommy is already out of this qualifying session, isn't he? As he's one of the early exiters in qualifying 1. On board with Wilson then, who is just into the middle party lap as well into turn 15. There's an Alpine in front of us there. Of course, the former Renault team then, Alpine have been pretty, of course, from the ashes of the Renault team has arrived the Alpine car, but they were last in the gold constructors. They're also last in the joint constructors as well. Unfortunately for the Alpine team now, far from starting us up in the background as well. Wilson has gone 8 fastest in the McLaren. Good stuff then for Wilson. Is that going to be enough? And Gordo's on the lap as well. Slayer out there. We've also got Nunda as well, but we're going to stick with Slayer. No, we're not, because he's invalidated this time. So let's go with Kez retired from the session. Let's go with Nunda. Florence back out on circuit there. I wonder if he's done a couple more runs in those soft tires than what he would have liked then. And knew that they're accelerating out of turn 6 and 7. And of course, as we've got a bit of an evening race here tonight, haven't we, here in Silver? Of course, Silver has had the most wet race. Actually, I'm going to be interested to know about that, because I'm sure that COBALT has had a lot of wet race as well. But we seem to have a lot of wet race in Silver, don't we? As that's become very much a part of tradition, hasn't it, in Silver? But at the moment tonight, then, it's a beautiful, a lovely evening here in Albert Park. Down, I'm sure all the drivers are enjoying the test of Albert Park as well. I love Albert Park. It's one track that I really very much enjoy. It's a fantastic circuit. It is, of course, there's some track modifications. We will not have the modifications on there this game. It'll probably be on 2022 then, but however, it'll probably be about November time. We'll get those changes on the next Codemasters game. They do take a while, don't they, to get the new tracks out. Nuno across the line now, 6 fastest there, a couple of tenths away from Fanjo, but that should see him safely through, perhaps. Farf in a bit of trouble at the moment now. Sarah going for a lap as well. That's an AlphaTauri. Dylan with a wingless AlphaTauri as well. Dylan trying to get himself into the promotion spots, into gold for next season there, but he has got no wing there, Dylan, and that may cost him major problems here tonight. Then Wilson across the line there to have another go. Farf, who's invalidated his time, but Farf is in the pits. There was just 7 seconds to go. Gordo out on circuit as well. We're going to stick with Sarah for the minute then. This is going to get very interesting indeed. And checker flag has dropped then. Oh, checker flag has dropped now on this session, and Florence out on circuit as well. The Alpine car of Nunda is just crawling back to the garage then. What about Sarah then? So far we've got Bradfield out qualifying. That's a shock then. We've also lost Sirius Mushroom as well. Wilson is out qualifying. He's gone off at the perilous turn number 6 then, but it's just after the car park area. So Wilson is out qualifying as well then. What about Gordo then? Who is going to... We might have a top 9 shootout here, but Slayer is doing a good job here. Slayer is through and into qualifying free then. As Gordo is invalidated his time, so we're going to have a top 9 shootout rather than a top 10 here with Wilson out qualifying. And Wilson probably would have rather started 11th position rather than there, but that's a bit unfortunate there. On board then with Gordo. Unless my time's a bit desunk here, I think that Gordo may be out of qualifying here, but let's see then. So Ferrari driver comes across the line. He is unfortunately out qualifying. So far for 11th, Gordo 12th, Bradfield 13th, Sirius Mushroom in 14th position then. Wilson is in 10th as well then, because he's not going to go any further in qualifying, unfortunately, as he has crashed the car quite heavily in turn number 6 then. We got a 9-car shootout for the Australian Grand Prix pole position then for the 29 laps, which is coming up in this later on this session tonight as well. So we've hit 5 past 8 then. As got to say, the driver's very keen to do this Australian Grand Prix because we finished quite early last night, which means that I was able to have a shower and go to bed then in pretty reasonable time then, which is fantastic, wasn't it? For me anyway, because I'm getting old. Serious Rush is saying it's a Serious Rush is saying it's a dry race show then, if no one's told you. Thank you very much, Serious Rush. No one has told me, to be honest, so thank you very much, and Serious Rush. My Ted Kravitz out there. We've got Lauren saying Vol FYI, and also Real Johnny saying hello as well. Good evening to Real Johnny. Hello. A young guy's done too many laps on the medium tires. He went out twice on them there, so that may be a problem. Why is that a problem for the race? Then I hear some of you ask that. Well, probably no one's asking there, but I'm going to tell you anyway. Qualifying, of course, if you get into qualifying 3, you must start on the tires which you set your fastest time on in qualifying 2. And those tires are soft for Keza, Slayer and Florin. Medium tires and for Lights, New Potato, Fanjo, Nunda and Vitor. Dylan on soft tires then. Wilson also starts the race on medium tires as well. Out qualifying then, and starting the Australian Grand Prix in this order is Sirius Rusham in 14th. Bradfield is in 13th position now. 12th position is Gordo. Farf in 11th there. I think Farf might be happy with 11th position as we roll on into qualifying 3 then. as we progress into qualifying three. There's only 12 minutes to go on there's only 12 minutes after this qualifying session to determine who's going to be on pole position for the Australian Grand Prix. Last week's pole, Citra's not here tonight. That was a motor. So and of course we do have Fanjo in here, who's absolutely dominated the pole position since he made his debut in silver way back in the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Fanjo's been in quite a long time, actually. Goodness me, time flies when you're having fun there. Of course, Fanjo's first ever pole position was back in the French Grand Prix as the Williams driver is going out of the pits, as is his teammate Nunda. Lights us out as well. Fanjo took pole position in the French Grand Prix. He took the pole position in the Dutch Grand Prix, Italian Grand Prix, Singapore, Japan, USA. Really impressive stuff indeed there. Our drivers have took pole position this season. The Motor has gone 4 pole positions so far in his career. Keza was on pole position in the Mexican Grand Prix. New Potatoes on pole position. Young Tommy's had 1 pole position. TK on pole position. Malnado's had 2 pole positions earlier on in this season as well. And so pole position then has been a very it's been shared out quite nicely between the drivers, but Fanjo would love to get the pole position crown then, or the pole position tyre for the end of the season for silver, which is good stuff indeed. I think the pillars may have actually got the pole position tyre for gold then. Of course, that's not a physical tyre then. Of course, that is, I don't think we award anyone for pole position there. But of course, it goes down in the record books for me, and that's more important, surely, than a physical award, maybe? I don't know. Gordo was saying, and the only concerning thing is that the only way I'm going in the race is backwards. Sarah Smashing, you'll be fine, Gordon. Just stay off the curbs and keep it clean. Sarah Smashing is saying that. Last night, Troy was saying that he does not enjoy the Australian Grand Prix circuit at all, does he? Thank you very much to I think that's Lily Frostic then, who is just subscribed, and so thank you very much. And so we're back down to 6 people then before I can get my Galaxy bar. Maybe then, or maybe even I might even invest in a big old Toblerone then, which I seen for the first time in a very long time in the Tesco's shop earlier on today. So so I'm looking forward to that then. Maybe I might burst out the old Toblerone. I did have a big old oh no, Dylan's gone a bit wide there, and I think that's that lap invalidated there. It's very harsh, these track deletion times around here tonight. Oh my grief, I think they was almost as harsh as last night though, because I don't think anything has changed then. We got to New Potatoes invalidate this time, unfortunately. Just watching Fancho done a 27-1 in the first intermediate split time. There's a lot of shadows down in sector 1, isn't there? Of course, with the beautiful palm trees. And are they palm trees? I don't really know. I'm not as much as I'm a forester. I don't know much about trees, to be fair, apart from that they're wooden and they bark. We've got Fanjo in the middle sector as well. Lovely over-the-shoulder shot here of Fanjo on a 49.3. He's been head and shoulders better everyone else in qualifying trim, but he's off the circuit there, and that is the commentator's curse for you. Fanjo, unfortunately, that lap is not going to get pole position now. We've got Dylan in the background, but he's invalidated his time, Dylan has there. What about Keza? Keza's invalidated as well. We've got a lot of invalidations. I don't think anyone's going to get a time on the board, are they? Lights is still going at the moment. What about V-Top then? V-Top there, flying past me now then. We've got an Alpine of Nunda out there as well. Nunda might be the first driver to put a time on the board then, into 13 as well. On board then with Nunda. Of course, Nunda finished second in the Bronze Championship back in at season 2. So I think that it's a shame that Nunda didn't stay on then for season 3. Season 3 of silver. Fanjo did go faster, but he did make a bit of a meal of turn at number 12. Nunda's gone fast there as well, but let's take a look and see what V-Todd's doing. V-Todd, of course, an expert qualifier in silver, then across the line. He is second fast. Mona 4/10 second away from Nunda. As it stands, Mona Young Lights there has been quick, hasn't he there? But he has been making a lot of mistakes there, but that is good enough there for pole position there for your Lights there. And we may see the first ever pole position for someone in silver tonight then. At the moment, no, it is Lights set with Nunda, with V-Todd, Fanjo. New Potato is on a lap, I think, then so is Dylan as well, who invalidated his first time. Slayer on a lap there. Oh no, he's not. He's in the wall, and he is out of qualifying. And Slayer is there. He was just a passenger at that stage of proceedings, was there? And Slayer is his qualifying is going to get started then with that new helmet there for Slayer. He may not be too up with me about moaning about his helmet for the majority of the season, but I think the Slayer may have to go back to the default helmet there. As unfortunately he's in the wall. He's out of qualifying, and he's the highest he's going to start tonight is the 7th position there. Florence invalidated his time. Dylan has it now. Out of the final turn now for Dylan there. Not taking too much of the AstroTurf there. Lovely shot here, so we can see the dash on the Dylan steering wheel there. Dylan goes full fastest. He has got a lot to fight for here tonight, hasn't he? Dylan has that. Kez is on pole position. That's Florin who spun up for the same place as Slayer. Kez is on pole now by a tenth of a second from Fanjo. Then Young Lights in third position. Noonday in fourth. V-Todd, Dylan in fifth and sixth position. Then New Potatoes back at the garage there. Slayer out of qualifying, and Florin is had submissions there. Keza currently going for second pole position of his career in silver thus far in the Alfa Romeo. Lovely stuff indeed there. Search Russian asking, why does silver get the least views when we are way better looking at? Slayer saying, oof, I was on for 21.9 there, but not 21.9 would have put him in fifth or sixth position then as it stands at the moment there. You got to say, I do not disagree with you whatsoever, Search Russian. Of course, silver are the best looking bunch then, very much so then. They are a very beautiful looking bunch as well. But yes, I think silver doesn't have as many views as bronze there, but I have a feeling I know why bronze gets a lot of views then. I think it's because of the beautiful air to this and that, or maybe even the or maybe it might be even I've forgotten who else races in bronze. Oh gosh, then that's shocking, isn't it? But never mind. Oh no! And who's out? That's Keza out to qualifying there. And yes, he's only going to get one time on the board there. Young Lights improved to get second fastest there, but Keza's out of qualifying. Oh golly gosh, there, but his time has not been finished just yet. And V-Todd doing his best Glock impression there. I was going very wide in turn 12. Keza's gone whoops as he's had a huge shunt there, hasn't he? Where Bottas punctured his tyre in 2014 in the Williams car. Well, Kez has done a bit more than puncture his tyre. Crashed on my in-lap trying to cut a corner. So Kez has said, so I think he was trying to cut that classic turn 9 and 10 corner, which it's been on basically, that corner cut's been on every F1 game. It was definitely on the 97 game because that's how, and of course on 97, it's on the F1 97 game, you never got penalised either. So there we go. But of course, why do I know that? I've seen other people do it. I swear I never did it then because I'm a clean racer, of course. Oh my gosh, I'm allergic to something. We've got New Potato then who's going on that lap one, and Keza has left his wheel in the racing line there. That is absolutely shameful behaviour there from Keza. He might have to pick up his wheel on his way back. We have got Lights asking what was the gold pole position time of yesterday. Silver better than I expected. Young Lights saying, and silver is quite a high class league indeed there. Not as bad as just to say Keza that I could do a mid at 20s there. So Keza that is a bit off his benchmark then. However, unfortunately today in this day in history his best time is only going to be a 21.2 so far. Answer to Young Lights' question, I don't know, which is poor journalism, isn't it really, because I should know that. But however, I live and die by this spreadsheet because I have hit 32 in the last several months and my brain is completely gone to mush. I can't remember what I had for dinner today, but what I did remember is I ate a whole chocolate, I think it was a whole chocolate bunny or something for some unknown reason. I don't know why it was a bunny when it's Christmas time, but yes, I had a whole chocolate bunny. It was a white chocolate bunny as well. I love a bit of white chocolate. However, I was feeling very sick after that, and since then I've been sweating quite profusely then, which is not very good, is it? But here comes a New Potato then. He is on the lap of the moment there, of course, the New Potato, who sort of seems so what he was very unlucky in the first two races there, and then in Monaco he got it all together. However, New Potato then, just like Sir Spectrum, has had a pretty difficult season, hasn't he, really? A lot of these silver and veterans this season have just not been able to get to grips, have they, with their Formula 1 motor cars, unfortunately. Gordon saying, if I get points, I'll be delighted then, and I'll be happy to get top three realistically. If I finish, I'll be delighted then, Sir Spectrum is saying as well. I would also say, if I finish, I'll be delighted then. So there's coming into the into 13 and 14 as well then, because last night in Australia, I must say, I was absolutely keeling everybody in the race last night. Oh my word, that I was absolutely shattered. Good grief, that all I do is sit here and talk about cars going around in a circle. New Potato's done more than talk, then he's going to also walk the walk as well across the line, and he goes third fastest there on the second row of the grid there, a fraction in front of his teammate New Potato and Fanjo. Of course, Williams I think have had the strongest team on paper throughout the season with Maldonado and Fanjo and New Patel as the regular driver said. Really impressive stuff indeed there. Of course, back in 95, in the mid-90s, driver swaps were quite regular, wasn't they? As McLaren had 4 drivers in 95, as they did start off with Nigel Mansell, didn't they? As Dylan has invalidated his time, unfortunately. We're going to stick with Fangio. McLaren started off with Mansell and Hakkinen. Hakkinen had to take the Pacific Grand Prix off as I think he had an operation. Didn't he have a hernia or something? I can't remember. And of course, a certain Jan Magnussen took his debut in the Pacific Grand Prix that season. Of course, the father to Kevin Magnussen. Nigel Mansell, who was too big to fit in the car in 95, so Mark Blundell drove for the McLaren team. Fangio's 9802nd down the first sector. Mark Blundell. I'm okay. Mark Blundell drove for the McLaren team, didn't he, for the first 2 races in Brazil and Argentina. So I thought that Dylan was going to crash heavily there. Fangio is backed off slightly then. But then, of course, Mansell did 2 races in Imola and Spain, and then hung up his helmet for the final time in Formula 1, and that was him done then. Unfortunately, and of course, we had a lot of driver swaps in the mid-90s. Was quite regular, weren't they? Really, we had a lot. I think we had a total of 35 drivers in the 95 season. I remember that quite well because I remember they were saying that on the Formula 1 game when you first launched it up there. Of course, they also had 13 teams as well back then as well. Of course, it was a full grid. That was the last time that Formula 1 had a full grid. Then, it doesn't bother me at all. That's why I hardly say it on stream. Then, basically, I say it every other stream. Then, because I think it's Formula 1 should have at least 24 cars, and I would like to have 26 cars on the grid, really. But there we go. But unfortunately, I don't think we're going to ever get to see the likes of like a minnow team like the Minardi on the grid then, or Tyrrell, which I can't believe I am accusing Tyrrell of being a minnow team, as they were constructors champions, weren't they, in the 70s? They took Jackie Stewart to a couple of his titles as well in the early 70s. Tyrrell, quite a known force there, unfortunately, up until 97, 98 there, where they was really more at the back of the field, weren't they, really? And of course, that's where Craig Pollock took over from the Tyrrell team and then morphed it into the BAR Supertech, or the British American Racing Team, and they made their debut back in 99 there. However, of course, when they was aiming for Grand Prix wins and all that kind of stuff in their first season, which was quite optimistic to say the very least. Dylan's invalidated this time. He's got 4 seconds to sort himself out. Dylan has, so he's only 7 faster than the bronze champion at the moment. I say only 7 fast, that's pretty good around here. Across the line then, and Dylan is improved by 5/10 seconds, but it's not enough. Mercedes of Vital has gone at 5th fast. Well, that just shows the calibre of the drivers here tonight then. What a drift from Fangio out of the final turn, and Fangio's giving it all kinds of winning, and across the line then is his pole. It is pole position for Fangio, then brilliant stuff indeed at the very end of Australia. He has got the pole position time then. Young Lights has improved as well, and of course this is a 21-1 so far in this qualifying session. Now Young Lights needs to find a bit more time, then he's on par with Fangio at the moment. Fangio is currently going for a 7th pole position in his 12th qualifying session this season. The final turn there for Young Lights. This is debut here tonight in this first race, and Young Lights is only 2nd fastest there. Goodness me, wow, incredible stuff. Nunez found a 10th for a second, over the grid hatch as well then for Nunda across the line. Nunda 5th fastest as well. What about Florin there? Florin needs a good result tonight. Florin goes 7th faster than McLaren, but it is Fangio who cannot be knocked off his perch there. Takes his 7th pole position of his season and his career as well in silver. Well, my goodness me, there. He's just going to. He might just reserve pole position, hasn't he, Fangio? Because that is his 7th pole in 12 qualifying sessions. Now that is over 50% strike rate there for Fangio. Really good stuff indeed there for the Williams driver there, and he is going to be very happy with that, and he is standing tall then. Very good stuff indeed then. Serious Rush saying good luck all then. Lights lost the 10th for the final turn then, but as Nunez asking what is the strategy around here, Lights saying that it's the race that counts. And by the way, I've changed my helmet to a very specific colour and I'm looking forward to seeing Becca's helmet. 21-1 but lose the 10th, must feel horrible then. Serious Rush there. Oh goodness me then. 9402nd separates Fangio and Young Lights on the front row of the grid. Then Keza in 3rd with New Potato in 4th. I think that Keza maybe ruin his bad luck, unfortunately. However, Keza, the race is what counts, is exactly what the driver said in the comments. Let's go on with the race, shall we? Here in Australia. And here we go then. It's a lovely race today. No wet weather at all here tonight. And yes, and I think after this race, then I'll be getting me legs out and I'll be going for a good old tan. Then as Nicki Minaj used to say, let's go to the beach, let's get away. Hey, what can I say? 23 seconds then until we get started. Nunez out of the session before we even got going. And so that's a shame then for Nunez, isn't it? And unfortunately, hopefully we can get back in before the end of the formation now. 29 laps around this Australian Grand Prix here in Albert Park, Melbourne, I should say. First race here was back in 1996, where it was a Williams 1-2, and they absolutely dominated that race, didn't they? Eddie Irvine in his debut for Ferrari got third on that day. Schumacher had a nightmare race, unfortunately, in that 96 Ferrari, which was not a very good race car, was it? However, we got 20 very good race cars on the grid then, and let's take a look at the tyre strategy. Not a hard compound in sight then. Soft tyres in the top 10 is for Keza, Florin, Dillon, and Slayer. Marsky on soft tyres along with Clarkey and Liam. Yeah, everyone else then is on the medium compound tyres. And let's go for the grid then. 29 laps around the Australian Grand Prix. Let's go from back to front then, shall we? Because I'm feeling like a bit of a change here tonight. Reflections there. I think he had a great race in Brazil last time out, didn't he? He had a great race with himself and a serious Russian. That was an absolute cracker, wasn't it? Trade position there for reflections there. Liam, yeah, making his return back to silver. Then he has a race in silver for quite a number of seasons there. Liam, yeah, but he's back in silver tonight, making his 12th start now. He's had 2 Grand Prix wins there. Liam, yeah, has a pole position, 5 podiums as well, and only 2 DNFs there for Liam, yeah. He is in 19th position now. Clarkey in 18th position there, a 2-time Grand Prix winner in the gold division. Clarkey is there. He's got a bit of class, hasn't he? Clarkey class there. Maldonado is taking a Grand Prix win to her name as well. She's also got a beautiful papaya helmet there, so she was talking about her papaya helmet, and there it is, a lovely orange helmet indeed. And Slayer and Wilson been disqualified from the session there. So young Tommy in the Constructors Champion, the Drivers Championship as well there. Young Tommy there, who has really been absolutely head and shoulders better now. It's just having a bit of fun in 16th position tonight. And Marsky in 15th there, looking quite strong before he ended up in the wall in a qualifying, and they just hopefully he could avoid that wall of the race set. 14th position, Sirius Russia with the traditional yellow and pink helmet, then he is in at 14th position there. Bradfield in 13th there, looking strong in quali 1, then quali 2 is quali 2 though, he just fell apart for Bradfield, or maybe he didn't want to get into qualifying 3 then. Gordo in 12th position in the Ferrari. He's had a bit of a difficult start to the season then, but the second half has been quite magnificent there for Gordo. Can he finish off the season strong? I think he's moved himself home to 8th from the Drivers' Championship, hasn't he? He has indeed. Farfar in 11th position there, just outside the top 10 for Farfar. He's had the speed, but he hasn't had the consistency. Wilson is there, 10th and 9th, and 8th is Dylan, and trying to get himself back into the promotion spot. So for Mortal not here. Florin in 7th position, he's in the relegation zone. He needs to pick up those socks then. 5th, 6th position is V Todd. Noonday is not in the race in 5th position, and New Patel in 4th. Keza in 3rd then. Maybe should have been on pole position then, but he binned it, didn't he, and qualified. Lights in 2nd position there. It is Fanjo though, the familiar story, on pole position then for the Australian Grand Prix. 29 laps around the Albert Park, Melbourne, and the race is about to get going then. And here we go then. It's goodness me, it's we got drivers jumping up and down the field, end line 4, 5 lights as a pause, and we are go down under for the Australian Grand Prix, and Keza takes the lead. That is the young lights on the pole inside. He's dropped down the 3rd then, but we have who we have Fanjo leads and Keza in 2nd position, lights in 3rd then. We got Dylan and Slayer. We got yellow flags at the back of the field, and who's dropped down? Clark has dropped down the order. Gordo is also dropped down as well. Is a Bradfield there up into Gordo breaking too early there, but I think that's because of the red ball in front of him here. And now then we've also got some shenanigans on the back. Then Sirius Rush dropped down to the back of the field. Then Fanjo leads 2nd position. Is Keza with lights in 3rd position. Florin is at 3 positions. Florin's at 3 positions. He's gone from 7th to 4th in the Mara corners. Magnificent 7th there. And then now just coming up into the bumpy entry then into turn 9 then as well. Look at the cars all over the circuit at the moment. Nunez still not got back in the session yet. Farfar battling with Slayer then, as Slayer just trying to go on the outside here. Wilson dropping down at 1 position as well. Goodness me! And as Slayer and Farfar almost come the blows there into the kinky straight of between 11 and 12 here. Farfar all over the back there to Slayer. Nunda dropping down the order still there, and Farfar's got no DRS just yet, has he? And he's now going up the inside into turn number 13. He has done it there. Farfar's through, passes Slayer, moves up into 9th finish there, and there's Bradfield having a look there on the inside of Wilson, but no dice at the moment. Slayer is having major problems there, dropping down at 2 positions there, and Bradfield and Wilson feels they've got past her. Slayer is limping. He's in the pits now. Slayer is lap one completed. The gap is a half a second already in this Grand Prix. Lights in third position there. Florin in fourth. This would be a good performance there from Florin, and if he can stay there, and he really needs to then to get out of that relegation zone of silver so far. Gordo very much underneath the wheel tracks of Maldonado, who's moved up 4 positions in a row right there. Lovely 17. That Papaya helmet is a Papana up into 13th position into the pits, and Tommy then Slayer and Liam, yeah, also in the pits as well. Back at the front, then Fanjo's in, and with Kez in second position there. Lights at the moment there is not is and a bit of it's not to set in the world of light so far, but he is on the medium compound tyres now. And oh no, the lights is that lights off the circuit now. I think it may be. Where is he? No, am I telling Porkies? I'm telling Porkies. I think there he is. But Lights there, who's I'm not sure if he hit the wall or whatnot, but Lights there is having some major problems there at the moment. And look at this, and it's now then we've got New Patel all over the back of Lights, and he's really struggling well now. New Patel and having to turn into the slide there is a very precarious turn up 12 and 13 now. Well, no, that's 12 and here's 13. We've got DRS at the end of this lap then, so this is where it's going to get very interesting. Clarkey has got past Gordo, moved up into 14th position now. Clarkey using the soft tyres to his advantage then. Sarah Liam, yeah, and young Tommy all coming in the pits and all on the soft tyres then to go. They probably need a safety car now because they're almost a pit stop behind Serious Mushroom already. Then it's Maldonado and Marsky then really getting very close. That is the two M&Ms together then. Goodness me, I do love him. He's a rapper, isn't he? Maybe those sweets then perhaps. But here's Maldonado again getting past Marsky. She has got past Marsky and moves up into 12th position then. Clarkey's got a penalty then, and Kez has taken the lead of the Australian Grand Prix. Has it next? He's on the outside then. He's got to use those soft tyres, and he's done it. He has done it, you know, and taken the lead. And Florin is also involved in this as well. Really good something. Florin there, as I've mentioned, and he needs a good race result tonight. And there's pressure on the McLaren drivers now. He's in the relegation zone, going down into bronze for next season, which is not where Florin wants to be. Yellow flag. Serious Rusher is crawling in the back of the field then. Keza will now need to use those soft tyres there and pull away from the McLaren driver. But Fanjo is on the medium tyres. So remember last night that some drivers went for hard, some drivers went for medium, some drivers went for soft then in the final stage of the race then. But of course, all 3 types of compound tyres. But I don't think the hard tyres was probably the right way to go in this race then. However, I've been wrong before, and I'm probably going to be wrong again in this one. So Keza leads then. Now let's see if he can rock his away then from this one. Clarkey moving past Marsky and moving up into 13th position. Then Clarkey is following Maldonado through. Maldonado just taking her time, and as is Clarkey. Good stuff indeed. That's exactly what they need to do. Just watching this one here. Then one of the soft tyres already starting to struggle here. Of course, then these soft tyres, and there's a lot of load on these cars in the opening stage of this race, and because of the fuel. And we've got Flora now having a bit of an issue into turn 1 and 2. And that is allowed up. Lights have a look on the inside, not quite then. And the gap is a second then. Florin is struggling all of a sudden here. Florin is really struggling, and Fanjo and Keza are starting to pull away then. Oh, goodness me then. So I think the Lights needs to get past Florin as quickly as possible here in this one if he wants to. If he wants to be involved in this battle here, so of course if the gap goes about 5 seconds or above, and Serious Rusher in the pits, so Serious Rusher then in the pits, they're going to change the nose. Farmer's got a 3-second penalty. Clarkey has a penalty as well. Back on board with Young Lights at the moment there, and the gap at the front. Keza is now starting to streak away. He has now won a race in silver so far. His best Grand Prix result for Keza in silver is its last race in Brazil, wasn't it? However, I think in Mexico he got a bit of Ricardo, didn't he? Unfortunately, he got spun around in turn 1 after getting a pole position and on his debut then for Keza. He is leading this race so far, looking very strong indeed. Keza is in the Alfa Romeo, and Alfa Romeo will be very happy with this. We'll be very happy with that at the moment with Keza really starting to stretch his legs so far. Out of the final turn then, Maldonado has just dropped behind Clarkey and moving up into 12th position. Clarkey has then Maldonado dropping down to 13th, and Keza set the fast on the race. And this race tonight is very hot then, isn't it, in terms of pace, and there's a lot of quality in this silver Grand Prix tonight, and goodness gracious me that we've got a lot of Grand Prix winners from silver and gold in this one, and also bronze as well. And then Lights up the inside. Florin is dropping down the order now, and look, Kez is also starting to struggle as well because he has lost a couple of tenths on the opening stage of this lap. I think the soft tyres are really at the limit then, of course, so the soft tyres will last longer at the end of the race there because of course Of course, the car will be lighter. Marsky struggling as well in the soft tires. Liam Yes at the fast up race. He's at the back of the field, down in 17th position at this moment in time. Then Liam Slayer and young Tommy be hoping for some kind of safety car to get themselves back into this Grand Prix at the moment. Both Ferraris are keeping Marsky company for the moment now. Well, I say that there's Kez maybe under pressure on the soft tires, but Fangio is back in DRS. But however, he's not falling all over the back of it. Well, New Patel, and unfortunately, that's a slam dunk 3-second penalty there. He was on board with him. He got caught red-handed, or was it blue-handed then, as we was on board the Williams car. Into 13, to turn 13, Maldonado's also got penalties as well. Farfig's got past Nunda. Nunda's back in the race, I think. Then goodness me, I didn't even notice that. Apologies, Nunda, but he's back in the race now, but he's dropped down into 9th position there. We have heard in the past, though, as Gordo's got past Marsky as well. He has got past Marsky. Oh, yes, he has indeed. Then good overtake that from Gordo. We have heard in the past that where drivers exit and re-enter the session, that their tires go really hot or really cold, don't they? And it really hurts the drivers coming back into the session. And Florence got a 3-second penalty to who's had those lights off the circuit there, and Lights has spun the Mercedes there, and he's damaged the wing there. And Lights there, oh goodness gracious me, and the exit turn 2 there, Lights has there, and he has damaged the car then, and he's got out of the way very gentlemanly indeed there for Lights there, but he is going to be kicking himself for that young Lights. Yellow flag in section 1, we got reflections out, same place as I think it's the same place there as the Lights then, and we've got a safety car here which may help at young Lights actually, but unfortunately not going to have reflections there. Other race, so yes, so just that was where Felipe Massa crashed in 2008, wasn't it, or something like that, and possibly, or 2010 as well, maybe. But yeah, Liam then will be very happy with this. And as into the pits, there comes that young Tommy on the medium compound tires. And let's see how this one goes. And so the soft runners, they're going to come into the pits this time around. Then it's potentially a cheap pit stop. However, you will lose track position there, so that is something that you've got to be made aware of. And reflections out of the race. Florin! Oh no! Florin's out of the race as well, and that's under the safety car. That is not going to turn. Yes, he's gone off in the perilous turn 12, and Florin, who was very much in the pace here tonight, in the race for pace, then out of the race as well. So we've lost 2 cars in the matter of almost a lap here in Australia. Florin out, reflections out as well to this track can really bite you in places where you don't want to be bit. Dylan in the pits. Well, here comes Keza coming into the pits. Florin left the session. He's going to be furious himself. He is still in the relegation zone. Keza then, this has very much thrown a curveball into the very much then into proceedings as well. Keza now onto the medium tires. They're coming back out on the circuit. Dylan in the pits as well, thrown on the medium compound tires then for the AlphaTauri. He is in and out, shaking all about that. Wilson on soft tires here then. Clarkey also in the pits as well. Young Lights there is on to change the nose cone then, but he's on the soft tires, Young Lights, so he's guaranteed a 2-stop here. Drive-through penalty for Maldonado for being a bit too keen there under the safety car Delta, and she's going to be furious with herself when that's a disappointed penalty for Maldonado, because she has been doing very well, making her way up the grid very nicely indeed. But now she's down, now she's in 7th position now. But that is a drive-through penalty, and I can hear in my headset that Maldonado going, "Oh my navy blue!" there, and unfortunately, to be honest, I'll be turning the air blue that if I was in Maldonado's shoes, but of course she's a much more polite person than I am. Fangio leads the race then with New Potato in second, and both Williams drivers had a 1-2 at this moment. Then third position, Todd Farf in a superb 4th position. Nunda recovering nicely in 5th. 6th position is Bradfield. 7th is Welsh Ronaldo, as we just mentioned then, with the drive for penalty. 8th position is Keza. He is the highest runner to come into the pits on medium tires. Gordo 9th, and Dylan in 10th position as well. 3 pit stops for Dylan and for Keza then. Wilson's on soft tires in that position. He's going to be flying when the safety car comes in. Clark in 12th position. Lights is in 13th position now. He damaged the wing now. He's lost a lot of track position. However, race time, he has lost the minimal amount here. So he should be okay. 14th position is Marsky. 15th is Liam. Yeah, he's going to be grinning from ear to ear. As is Slayer as well. He's got on the hard tire, Slayer, and so he's going to go an awful long way into this race. Mushroom in 17th. Sir Young Tommy in 18th position as well. Of course, the champion of silver. As I take a moment to breathe, and as we got Fangio and the Williams team are 1-2 at the moment now. Of course, there's only one pit garage in Formula 1 this now, so really Williams are going to have to stagnate their strategies here, aren't they? So New Potato's going to have to come in a lap later than Fangio. They cannot box at the same time because they're going to lose too much time there. Of course, then there's safety car really ragging it into turn 1 and 2 there. We've seen a bit of gravel come into the face of Fangio there. Fangio then, who's been very impressive since coming into silver, hasn't he? Fangio. He's had 5 wins in 11 starts. He's had 6 pole positions in 11 starts as well. He had his 7th one today. He's had 8 podiums in 11 starts as well. Fangio has a pretty impressive resume there from Fangio, and that's why he stormed up through the order in silver as well. And this win here tonight will almost guarantee him. I think he's already guaranteed in second now with AC and Morsel not racing here tonight. And so Fangio is taking a huge step closer to getting into gold for next season. Lights has just said he doesn't like this circuit there, as he had a bit of a issue there. So we got Tommy now, who's in 18th position there. Tommy said, as we mentioned in the beginning of the broadcast, he has scored in every single event, every single race so far, hasn't he? Young Tommy, as he's participated in there. But at the moment, that point scoring streak, just like it was in Brazil and Mexico, is very much under peril here tonight then, as the cars are slowing down then. So now then, you got the highest member of Keza, who's on the medium tires then. Safety cars in this lap then. So this is where the traffic is going to slow down here, and there is Fangio leading us around then. I love that shot. Look at all these cars, and very much line on stern as well then, and we are going to be racing once again in Australia, and so Fangio there is just warming up those tires. Of course, that it's quite a cool evening here in Albert Park, isn't it? Of course, we are in late summer, early summer. I don't really know my seasons in Australia. I don't really know my seasons anywhere, to be honest. I thought it was winter, but however, having said that, it was actually 12 degrees outside when I was going to work this morning. Goodness me, it's almost summer. Good gracious. Right then, Williams and 1-2 then. Let's see how this one progresses. New Potato and Fangio there. I think the Williams to the Constructors' Championship are kind of in no persons on there, aren't they? 69 points behind the Mercedes. They still have a chance there, but it's a very slim chance there for the Williams there. But 1-2 tonight may be able to get them back into the Mercedes fight for second then. Out the final turn then, and here we go then. So Fangio leads. Second position is New Potato. Third is V-Top then. Nunda is right at the gearbox then of Farf, I should say. Lights is back in the pits there, so Lights has got some issues, and that's not good at all for Lights. We've got Wilson, who's very much underneath the gearbox, and Dylan as well, and they are very much close to the back of each other, coming out of turn number 2 as well, and now going up to the inside and into the Brundle turn as well. Wilson's up the inside there, and giving Dylan a bit of the squeeze here. Dylan just won't be involved in any shenanigans there, as he has got a battle for the promotion spots, but Dylan dropping down to 11th position there. Dylan is at the moment, of course, a 2-time Grand Prix winner in silver, is the fantastic something there. Of course, the bronze champion as well. Dylan is there since coming into LR. He's very much ripped up the form book, has he? Dylan has been impressive, but Clarkey is through as well. Dylan is struggling on those tires there, as those tires just not got up to grip yet, have not got up to temperature, because he's just dropping down the order. Dylan is like a stone. We've got Wilson, who's moving up the order like a what propels upwards? Let's just say look and lift. Then that will do for now. Wilson into 9th position on the soft tires, and the highest on the soft rubber as well. Farf is in the wall, and Farf is in the wall, and he's in a major problem there, and that's a huge shunt there for the Haas team, and it's going to be a safety car, and there should be no overtaking here. However, then I think they don't say the yellow flag is ended. Now it's a safety car. It's a late call for the safety car from race control. So Clarkey did get past it before the safety car was deployed, but now into the pits then comes New Potato remains in the lead then here. Maldonado then, who probably would like to have done her drive-through penalty then, but however she can't take it out as the safety car's out then. Fangio's on the hard tires here then, the Grand Prix leader then. Farf I'm just in the light saying he is stupid. He's just putting I am stupid there. I'm not sure what Lights has done then, but however, Lights has got a reprieve, as he is now going to be able to catch it to the back of the safety car here. But goodness me then. So safety car once again then, as we've had a safety car in quick succession here. 3 retirements at Reflections, Farf and Flora now. 3 very capable, very quick drivers out then in this very precarious Grand Prix in Australia. This is usually the opening race in Australia. This is usually the opening race of the season in Australia, and I think last night was very impressive there, as we only had 3 retirements. We had 5 in total then, but 2 got disqualified there for ignoring yellow flags there, as there was a lap behind the safety car, and they tried to pull a fast one. Unfortunately, that is not the case, as you cannot overtake under the safety car. However, I'm sure you could do that on the last game there, so I think that I would have given it a go as well, really, but unfortunately that didn't work out for them, and they are both was disqualified from the race as a result. That So safety car at the moment, and I think the safety car is going to be out for at least one more lap. Then Lights then, who's down on the hard tyres. So drivers on the hard tyres is Lights, Gordo, Nunda, Viton and Fangio. Jake Slayer is on the hard tires. Well, he's the highest runner on the hard tires, Slayer is then. So this is getting very interesting indeed. Then lap 10 out of 29. Then we're coming up to half distance here in the Grand Prix in Australia, here in Melbourne. And a great place for the race was their slogan. I think it may still be their slogan. And hopefully we'll go back to Australia in 2022, because I thoroughly missed the Australian Grand Prix race because I quite enjoy that. Mainly because it's the first race season and I'm absolutely buzzing that. Sometimes the race may not be as exciting, but I think that's probably because the cars have outgrown the race circuit maybe. I'm just saying that. I don't, but I'm completely wrong on that one, possibly. Wilson made his way in 5th position as well. So we're just beyond the safety car as well. I've got one more lap beyond the safety car, then we'll be back in action as Gordo is in the pits. And then as I think there's Fanjo and Young Tomlin in the top 2 in the championship, but 12th and 13th in this race at the moment. Now Gordo in the pits and throwing on what tires are those? Are yellow marked medium tires. And so Gordo is pulling a good, maybe pulling a very good strategy here for the Ferrari team, because yes, I think those medium tires may be able to do 20 laps in this Grand Prix with lighter fuel as well. It's going to get very interesting. Then out of the pits now comes Gordo, and of course you cannot go over that solid white line then. So hopefully the safety car being in this lap. Then just take a quick look at the penalty update. Drive through penalty for Welshman Otter still, but she's up in the 3rd now after starting near the back. And Clarkey 3-second penalty, as has New Potato as well. No one else got 3 seconds at the moment. Good stuff indeed then. However, then there's we're not even at half distance yet then. So maybe I should be praising the drivers just yet then, but I'm going to praise the drivers because they've done 11 laps. Only 2 cars have got a 3-second penalty. Manado has got a drive-through penalty, but that was not because of corner cut in. That was because she was speeding under the safety car, unfortunately. So then here is Gordo. I think Gordo's made a very shrewd call here. He did 32 laps or 33 laps on the medium tires in Brazil. He is he knows how to look after tires on a very long distance, doesn't he? Gordo does. So this may be a strategy call of the Grand Prix. I am not Mystic Meg. If I was, then I'll be buying a lottery ticket in a minute. But of course that is cheating, and I don't condone cheating. Well, unless it's me, of course, then I do condone it, because yes. But Gordo though, who is going to be, might be smiling here at the moment, that Gordo is, because this may be a good call indeed. That safety car's in then is the other Williams now. New Patel then is going to practice his restart under the safety car. 3 retirements and Farfus calls his latest one. Flooring out a huge shunt then, as also Reflections crashed out quite heavily as well then. Of course, Reflection calls the first safety car, and Varna went off in sympathy under the safety car, and Farf also went off quite heavily as well. As New Potato was bolted then, he's gone already. Bradfield then is doing a great job as well in his own right in the Red Bull. I think these drivers on the medium tyres are going to try and stretch this thing, do a Dan Murphy, and go on the soft tyres and for the remainder of this race. Lap 12 over here in Australia. So then where is Wilson? Wilson is going to be the man on the move. I would hazard a guess. And having a look there into turn number 1 and 2 then, but Keza, who's a bit too far in front, then Keza's gone to 4th. Goodness gracious me then. Keza has got he's got fresh medium tyres there as he pitted earlier on then under the first safety car, didn't he? Keza did that. So he's going to be happy with this result as well. So young Tommy then, who is having a look on the rear posterior of Serious Mushroom, but cannot get through into the Brundle turn because Slayer is just in front of him as well. Slayer's on the hard tires. Serious Mushroom really struggling there with the car balance of that Haas car. Not looking comfortable at all, Serious Mushroom isn't, but he's back on the 2 length and he's back in the heart of the midfield now. Serious Mushroom is where he's spent. Oh, and he's got off the circle there, and now young Tommy there is going to go on the outside here. Serious Mushroom is going to try and battle as hard as he can. Then look at this, it's wheel to wheel. Serious Mushroom has got the inside there. Yellow flag. Wilson's out of the race there, and Wilson is out of the Grand Prix. And where's he gone off then? He's gone off on the as a Keza who's limping as well then, and Keza is limping. And what's happened here? It's another safety car. Wilson out of the Grand Prix as well, and I'm not sure what happened there, but Keza's limping then, and they was fighting quite close together, and Keza is down in 9th position now. Goodness gracious me, what's going on here? Eventually Manada will be able to take her penalty because there's been safety car after safety car, so she's got that drive-through penalty. Is anyone going to come in the pits this time around then? 3 safety cars before half distance here in this race then. Wilson is out of the race. Both McLaren said, who are having a nightmare race so far this season in Australia. As 0 points for McLaren for the joint constructors in gold and silver so far. What can Braun and Kez has got 5-second penalty? What can and Kez is retired from the session as well. So I'm not sure. Of course, you get a -5 point deduction there, of course, for pitting and quitting there. But if it's only your first time, then it should just be a sub on the rest. So Bradfield on the hard tires, Marnoda also on the hard tires as well. New Potato's gone soft bed. Clark leads the race then with Dylan in 2nd. Liam up in the 3rd now with Marsky 4th. All on medium tires, and 5th position is Fifth position is Slayer on the hard tires. Sixth position is Serious Mushroom there. And he was struggling there. But however, Serious Mushroom is got in front of Young Tommy. He stayed in front of Young Tommy. He's on 9 lap of medium tires. Gordo reckons he's done the right strategy as well. 2 laps of medium tires there. Fanjo in 8th position there, 9th position is V Todd, Nunda 10th, and Lights in 11th position there with Gordo in 12th, Newport in 13th position, Bradfield 14th, and Maldonado in 15th position as well then. So we still got penalties. The penalty situation is exactly the same as the last one there. Still Maldonado still got to take our drive-through penalty, but this is no fault of our own then. It's because we've had 3 safety cars. We've had 2 quick safety cars here, and that's a lot of tyre rubber there. But it looks on that circuit. Where is it? That was about where Wilson crashed, wasn't it? So that looks like that may actually be white lines that have just been blacked out there, perhaps. But Wilson out of the race, and I'm not sure if him and Keza came to blows or whatnot. Then, but it is not looking too good. So Keza has got the not amused face then, and he says, sorry Jake then. So it looks like Keza has caused some shenanigans in the old midfield there for Keza, and that's a shame there really. Reporting flags, I completely lost concentration. Keza did that. So Keza out of the race, and Wilson out of the race as well, along with Farf, Florin and Reflections then. We have got 15 cars remaining out of the 20 that started then, so we've lost a quarter field so far. We've not got to half distance yet in this Grand Prix. We'll be at half distance about halfway through this lap then, and hopefully that'll be around the time where we get ready to get there. As Kez there is just informed us that yes, he's going to take full responsibility for that, which is a very good thing to do, Keza, as I would have of course I wouldn't have accepted responsibility because I'm not a nice person there. Oh, the pits there comes at New Potato then on the medium tires then. So New Potato is following on Gordo, it's done, hasn't he, here? So he's gone to soft, now he's gone back onto the medium there. New Potato, I said, he's lost track position there. However, this may get very interesting now for New Potato later on in this Grand Prix. But I'm surprised that other drivers have got on the medium tires there. But Maldonado and Bradfield are started on the medium tires, and that may be where they've had no choice but to go onto those hard compound tires. So Clark leads this race then with Dylan in 2nd position. 3rd is Liam Yet. 4th is Marsky. They're all on medium tyres. 5th position is Slayer, hard tyres. 6th is Slayer Special, 10 lap old mediums. 7th position is Tommy, 8 lap old mediums there. 3 lap old medium tyres for Gordo and for New Potato. I expect they're going to the end now, unless there's another safety car. Everyone else on the hard tyres, head on newish hard tyres or not too scrubbed hard tyres. On board with New Potato here. Just in front of us is Welsh Maldonado. And as just watching the back of the field as well, hopefully we're waiting for that magical safety car notifications to come in then. Sorry to pop out then from race controller, because we are now officially at half distance, and if I missed it, I think I have, haven't I? Because the safety car is bolted off, and now it's Clarkie's turn then for a safety car restart. We've had both Williamses, now we've got Clarkie as well then. So we've had 3 different drivers taking the safety car restart tonight then. Good stuff indeed then. So yeah. And Clarkie, who is now, when's he going to drop the hammer then? Here he goes then, and I think he's gone already, hasn't he, that Clarkie has? And so no chance of any kind of gamesmanship there for Clarkie. He's just come and gone then, hasn't he, Clarkie has? And Sarah's all over the back of Marsky. What's happened here then? Sarah's Mushroom is struggling there to get on the pace, and no one can overtake until the start-finish line, and nobody. And that's it. Now Young Tommy now can go past and Sarah's Mushroom on the outside going into turn 1, not quite. Maldonado is, I don't think that's not right, is it? As Maldonado was unable to take her drive-through penalty there because of those 3 safety cars, and that is, she's out of the Grand Prix now, so that is harsh indeed then for Maldonado, and she is out of the race. So we've had 3 disqualifications in this Australian event so far. Of course, 2 last night and 1 tonight. Then Clarkie has now got a 2nd advance, and Clarkie is very dangerous when he's out in front on his own. Then he just gets into such a just gets into the zone, doesn't he? And he just absolutely starts to pull away then. So Clark is already out of the DRS range of Dylan already. Dylan, of course, the bronze champion, who is 4th in the championship at the moment there in silver, just shows how good Clark is at the moment there. Michael Massius has it again, Becca, saying that I absolutely agree with you on that one there, because she had Becca had no chance of serving that drive-through penalty because of all the safety cars here. On board there with Young Tommy there, going going through at turn 12 then. And now we have got Fanjo's having a look there on the inside of the silver champion then, which is young Tommy there. Well, Lisa Becker going to laugh about it then, but I'll be absolutely apoplectic about that one. Lights there trying to come back through the field as well. He's in 11th position now. He's right underneath the gearbox of Noonda in 10th position there. This race is completely up in the air in terms of strides. Now, I don't think anyone technically needs to come back in the pits then. Whether their tyres last or not is a different story then, because everyone has been in the pits at least once then. So first now look then. Slayer is now starting to form a conga line behind him at the moment. Dylan is all over the back now, because look, Dylan is going for it, and Marsky's off the circuit, and he's off in a big way. Oh, goodness me. Trilly crashed there in 2002. We've also got Bradfield and New Potato. Oh, no, look, then a New Potato on the outside, breaking so much there into the Brundle turn now. And on the outside, great manoeuvre there from New Potato. Let me stop the serves young Tommy there all over the back spot. Go Dylan. I think Clarkey made a mistake there, and Dylan was all over the back of the Grand Prix leader Clarkey, who was probably trying to put his toe down. However, that has not been the case at all. We got young Tommy now all over the back of Sirius Mushroom now into turn 10. Nope, 9. I got there in the end. Now into turn 10 as well. Mushroom all over the back there. Look at that. That's who's outfit. That's Fanjo, who's had a bit of a slip there, and he's dropped down the order, and he's having some major problems now because Young Lights all over the back of him. He couldn't get through though, could he? And Young Lights has actually lost a bit of momentum there. However, he's coming back at him then under this short straight, and no DRS within the first 3 laps under the safety car restart into turn 13 there. Cars all over the show here then. But 5 seconds the gap is. Goodness me, it's 5 seconds the gap is there between Slayer and Liam. Yes, the top 3 are bolted away here. Lights said no, so you can see that. And Fanjo and Lights are having a bit of a coming to blows there. Oh my goodness gracious me there. As and one of those two drivers just didn't see each other then. Back on board with Fanja then trying to go into turn 1 then. There's the Ferrari of Gordo in the background as well. New Potato having a look there. Not quite either. And look, Duda's off the circuit, and the same point is where Marsky's gone off there. Turn number 2 is getting very and Gordo's now being overtaken by New Potato, but I think Gordo's still on the right strategy at this moment in time then, as those medium tyres will last very long into this Grand Prix. Great stuff indeed then, and now we're just back with this battle here. We're just watching Sirius Rush and then Slayer 5, almost 6 seconds away, and the top 3 are going to be grinning from here to here. Then with Dylan and Liam, and Clarkey are just absolutely stretching out their advantage at the moment. Now Fanjo's got a 3-second penalty. It's going a bit wrong then for the man's been on pole so many times this season. Young Tommy, who is a bit too far back at the moment, then DRS is unable, I think, at the end of this lap, and that is a horrific amount of understeer there from the AlphaTauri, and this is going to really entice V-Top then. V-Top having a look then, not quite then going into turn 13 there. Martin is left for session now. She's going to be very unhappy chappy indeed, isn't she now? Now we've got Lights there all over the back of V-Top. Oh, who is that? Oh, goodness gracious me, there's New Potato then. Oh gosh, I scared myself. New Potato then almost getting on the inside of Fanjo there, and letting his teammate through now there. Goodness me then, I think that Frank Williams there will be looking down on that there, and very unhappy about the Williams pair now not helping themselves out at all. Sir Young Tommy on the outside now of Sirius Russian passes and moves up into 6th position, and yes, jobs are good. We've got both Mercedes then. I'm not sure if they're going to extend the team order malark then in the Mercedes camp like the Williams team then, because New Potato is very much a man on the mission, and he is on younger medium tyres there into 6th then for New Potato. Looking very strong indeed. This is great to see New Potato then, very much pushing now. Now Sir Tommy now needs to Lights there up the inside, then Lights up the inside, contact there between the two Mercedes, and now New Potato is also now stuck up and under that, and look at this, this is anything but a straight here in Australia, but there is no DRS just yet, and the Williams have a look there. He is very much on the gearbox of Young Lights as well. Young Lights there. Oh, that's a great exit there from New Potato. Very much dulled the power, and needs to have a bit of a slingshot and having a look. Not quite, no. Young Lights defending that very nicely indeed. Great. Young Tommy still behind that Slayer, and the gap is 7.3 seconds now. Young Tommy needs to get past the Slayer as quickly as possible here, because Slayer is very much really causing a conga line. Dylan, have a look, they're not quite an inch to one. Serious Rusher is in the pits. Serious Rusher is in the pits for the Haas team now. Not sure what's going on for Serious Rusher. That's a shame now. Look at this at the back of the New Potato and Young Lights are battling down into turn one. Serious Mushroom now in the pits, and that's a shame for Serious Mushroom now. What a shame there as Sir Young Tommy on the outside. He has done it. He's used the RSA. He's got past there, and he's up into fourth position. That is a crucial part in the race set for Young Tommy. And this is a great day again then for the Alpha Tower. They've already won the constructors there, but they're very much gunning for records tonight. Then Liam, in a very solid third position as well. We haven't seen much of Liam, have we? But he's just snuck as well in the third. Great 17 then. Something went a bit wrong there in the opening stage. And V-Top needs to get past Slayer as well. Slayer then is on the hard tires, and he is going to the end of the race here at the moment. Slayer is he is really looking at but look who's got behind the two McLarens, the two Mercedes, the two Williams cars as well. They are very much on the stern then. Just watching now, V-Todd there. Look at the understeer. That's a Williams off. That's Fangio off, and he's in the water. He's come back on the circuit there. And Bradfield about avoided in there, but Fangio's race set is starting to unravel, unfortunately, quite spectacularly here in Australia. Luckily, he's got the car going again. So there is no safety car at this stage of proceedings. Young Lights there all over the back of his teammate here, V-Todd there. One of the Mercedes might do a swapperoo. Well, the Williams team did it. Mercedes are not too keen on that as they come across the line now. Dylan is still behind Clark at the moment, but Dylan does have the pace advantage, and he also does not have a penalty either. He ran out of road there going down to the Brundle turn. He does know that Liam there is also quite close to back him as well. Fangio, who has got a 5-second penalty then for speed in the pits, and back on board with Slayer. Look at this queue now forming behind Slayer at the moment now. And goodness me, this is going to get very interesting indeed then. Oh my goodness me, they're all over the back of the Mercedes. They're really hurting each other here tonight. Mercedes are out of the constructors now, but the Williams might be able to overtake, but Williams needed a good result here tonight, and they need, I think, at least a 1-2 to keep themselves in the championship there. But Fangio down in 13th position there, and it's not looking too good at the moment there. Lights back on board at the moment there with Young Lights there, V-Todd, who is, oh my goodness me, Young Lights getting a bit aside of. There's Gordo in the background as well, and a similar strategy to New Potato, albeit as tires are 3 laps older now. New Potato is quick in the second sector by the looks of things there. And look at this, how is V-Todd there is all over the back now. Slayer is under humongous pressure, and here comes V-Todd. He's on the outside. Well, it's the two Mercedes have come together, and V-Todd has been off the circuit. Look, that's a Red Bull off as well. Oh no, and V-Todd there. And oh goodness me, as Dylan has dropped down to third position. Slayer coming back onto the circuit there, and oh goodness, oh, is V-Todd is big furious, isn't he, with that there? As Lights is we got to Dylan. Dylan has got no wing. See, he's got no wing. Dylan is limping as well. His promotion spot is going away from the later stage of the championship here. Oh, Dylan there is also dropping back as well. Oh goodness gracious me then. Oh golly gosh then, and now we got to Bradfield. Serious Russians now in the 9th position, right into the pits comes Marsky, Slayer, V-Todd, and V-Todd. Oh, wow. Well, we didn't see, well, to be honest, we had a bit of a rubbish camera angle, didn't we? Now, look at Liam, he's a 2-time Grand Prix winner in silver. He's going for his 3rd Grand Prix win now, Liam, he loves this circuit, doesn't he, Liam? He's standing up in the seat that Aston Martin, doing a fantastic job today, Liam. Is 2/10 of a second away from Clark at the moment now. And, of course, remember, Clark, 2-time Grand Prix, he's got another pounds down. Liam, is just sat behind him there, putting pressure on Clarky. Liam is just sitting there, just using his experience to his advantage here. He is a veteran in the LR now, of course. He's a 13-time race driver in silver, 2-time Grand Prix winner in silver as well. He's driven a lot in gold, then this is his 2nd season in gold then for Liam, Had a bit of a squirrel though, Liam did that. It's Bradfield there is really been compromised on the exit there. And Gordo's having the 6th position as wow. Who's got off the circuit then? I have missed that completely. I'm not sure who it was that went off the circuit there. I think it was it's Dylan there. Dylan there still struggling there to get back to the pit then. No wing at all. Fangio's got another 3-second penalty. Bradfield all over the back of Gordon. He's got back pass as well. Then so Bradfield back pass. He's back in the 6th position. As I mentioned earlier on the start of the stream then. And Bradfield's best result in silver is Fifth. It's fifth, isn't it? Noonda's got a 3-second penalty as well. Noon Potato, I should say, in fifth position there. Is in fifth position in the Williams, Cardamom, Clarkey. Oh, Noon Potato! That goodness gracious me, that I jumped just then. I was just on board with him as well. Dylan in the pits and Fangio set the fast on the race, so you can still get the bonus point here. Becca saying, I much prefer watching the races than actually beating them. Oh no, as I think that was I think that's a comment to what happened to the two Mercedes that are on there. Young Light Sen, who's about a second in front of these. No, he isn't. Young Lights is right in front of New Potato, but Young Lights is struggling. I'm not sure if we got damage then when he collided with. And look! Clarkey has dropped down in second, but here comes Clarkey. He's come back along. That's going to be a pinch point now. And Liam just about repels the attack. Then Clarkey has dropped down in second position. New Potato. Oh, and New Potato's off the second and his Lights there. I wonder if he just sent it into turn 13 there. And Noon and Lights there just kind of went for the old switcheroo there and backed up. But Liam leads the Australian Grand Prix. That, of course, those medium tires are going to be very much at the edge of the performance at the end of this one. However, Clarkey, goodness me, he's all over the back of Liam. Look at this. He's going this way and that way. And is he going to go up the inside? Or is he on the outside? He's going to go for a lunge into the Brundle turn. Not quite then. As it's all fine. It's all fine and dandy. Then Liam leads the Grand Prix. Dylan's got a 3-second penalty. Clarkey down in second position now. Clarkey also has a 6-second penalty, I think, to his cause. Here is Nude Potato, who's in fifth position at the moment now, 3 times a second back. He cannot get past Lights, and he needs to get past Lights because he's got a 3-second penalty in his account, New Potato does that. And of course, that is added to the race time. Lights has a 3-second penalty as well now. Good grief, man. I just need to keep my mouth shut, don't I? Vitor's got a 3-second, he's got a, no, he hasn't. What am I talking about? He's got a fastest lap. Fantastic from Vitor. Clarkey is still all over the gearbox, and he's had a great run, and Clarkey hasn't, but this straight is not long enough then for Clarkey. He needs to keep though within the window. Oh my gosh, look at the braking confidence on Clarkey there. He just absolutely went right to the gearbox there. Well, that's impressive stuff indeed there. As we've also got New Potato, we also run out of straight as well. Out of turn number 15 and 16 then. Clarkey is looking fine, but look at how much time he loses, because Liam is just absolutely launching off the final turn there. I wonder if he's using a bit of his toys there, Liam said, but he's doing harvesting down the second part of the straight there. But that is what he needs to do then. But what can Clarkey do then? Because I wonder if Liam may have used a lot of deployment then to defend there at that final turn, and the Brundle turns a bit more difficult then. New Potato is on the outside then, not quite at the moment, then back at the front then. No, nothing happens there. Going back to this one here then, and Lights is still defending as much as he can then in the battle for 4th and 5th. I think Lights has carried a damaged Mercedes car. He has damage as well. Sir Young Tommy in third position at the moment there, and once again Young Tommy's going to be very happy with this race so far, because it's not been the most it's not been his best race performance, has it? But goodness me, he's kept his head. Well, everyone around there has lost there. It's 24 out of 29 then. There's still a lot of things happen in this race then, and well, we've had no safety cars in the second half of this race then, which I've really welcomed then. As much as I do love a safety car, really dramatized then. Don't know, makes the race more exciting there, though. But it certainly has in this one. As I there, we've lost 6 cars in this Grand Prix. 14 remained out of the 20 that start. Then we've got a disqualification on our hands as well. Becca wants to know what the penalties like. Said your wish is my command, and there they are then. Clarkey 6 seconds of penalty, 3 seconds for Lights, 3 seconds for Nude Spud. Then Nude Spud is going up the inside. Not. Oh, he is on the inside. Oh, contact there. As Lights there is getting his elbows out. Lights is down 5 as well. Vitor is off the track. He is off in turn 6 there, and then what it's going to be is a safety car here. Oh. Hang on a minute, I've got to just dab my forehead a minute. And yes, Vitor out of the Grand Prix. That's where Maldonado crashed. Not our Welsh Maldonado, the actual Maldonado of Pascal Maldonado in 2012, when he was on a superb race when he was battling with Fernando Alonso. Oof. I need to lie down after this. This is absolutely incredible stuff. Into the pits, there comes Gorda. Then I was thinking that Gorda may go to the end, but however, soft tires is probably better than of course, as Vitor's have said, we're down to 13 runners and riders in this one. I think fresh tires is better than old medium tires, isn't it? Then who else is going to come in the pits? So 11 seconds for Fangio. He may be able to get rid of that 5-second penalty he had earlier on this race. We got 3 seconds for Nunda, 3 seconds for Dylan as well. 5 seconds for Marski, as Marski was coming to the pits a bit too eagerly there. there. 3 seconds for Lights on New Potato and 6 seconds for Clarky. There are your your penalties, I should say. And Marsky on soft tires, Fanjo on soft tires as well, as he is in and out, shaking all about that. Nundo's also in the pits as well. Dylan, who is on new tires as well, and look at him as he's propelling himself up the order. And Dylan might be able to give himself some points in this one now. As Becca said, Mercy, talk about jinx, and then I don't jinx anyone, I don't know what you're talking about. There's the lovely Aston Martin car on the side of the circuit as we're waiting to pick up the race leader, whoever that might be. It's Liam, yeah, the mode. Good job, got me tower next to me. What's Liam doing? Liam is staying out. Oh, now this is interesting now. It's going to be like Abu Dhabi last night. Oh, I don't know. This is going to be fantastic. Into the pits comes Clarky. Into the pits comes Sir Tommy. No, New Potato that is dummied me, and he stayed out. Good grief, man. And yes, soft tires then for Clark, and then Clark in, and oh goodness me, it's a sluggish getaway from the Alpine team. It's because the Alpha Tauri team was out, and then here are the Constructors Champions going to work. This is why they are the Constructors Champions over. Fantastic choreography there for young Tommy's team there. Young Knights there, who's quite a way back in the running. He's going to get in front of Tommy here. He might do, you know. Then of course they can race until the exit that pit line there. That's it. They're done. Young Tommy is in fourth. Lights in fifth position. Bradfield 6th, Gordon and 7th as well then. So who has made the mistake and who hasn't? And Liam has been on those medium tires for quite a long period of time. Gordo is said shoulder can have the penalty. He said yes, my good sir. New Potato 3 seconds, 6 seconds for Clarky, 3 seconds for Lights, 6 seconds for Fanjo. The Dylan 3 seconds there, 5 seconds for Marsky, spin the pit lane, and Nunda on 3 seconds as well. And I wish I had a bit of squash next to me now, because I got a real bad dry throat coming. Don't worry, I don't think it's the dreaded coronavirus, and I think it's more of I've been talking absolute nonsense for the best part of 19 weeks there. Albeit I did have 2 weeks off then, so what am I complaining about? Nunda then is in 30 minutes there. 12th is Marsky, 11th is Dylan. Then lovely shot. I love these telecam shots. There is absolutely it's just putting you in the mood, isn't it? There to get back into race and trim. Then safety car, I think it's going to be out for one more lap. We're going to have 3 laps under the safety car. Has Liam used his experience to get his third Grand Prix win of his career in silver. Then New Potato is in second, and Clark in third position. They're on fresher tires. Both those drivers are. However, New Potato's done 11 laps on those medium tires. Whereas Clarky is on new tires. So is young Tommy. I think Lights also came in the pits as well. We'll have a look at that in just a jiffy. Safety car staying on for the moment, so we're just waiting for Nunda to catch up as well. So as it stands, I think Fanta's already guaranteed himself. Getting second in the championship. Then today with Immortal not driving here tonight, because Immortal needs to score at least 5 points. To keep himself in it, and that's not the case. We've also got Dylan, who's 17 points away from Immortal. He needed a good score, didn't he? He's still going to keep himself in the battle for third. Then, but Immortal needs a nightmare race, and Dylan needs to score at least second position in Abu Dhabi. However, if the results stay the same then for Dylan at the moment, so it's becoming a bit of an uphill struggle then for Dylan at the moment. That is what's happening then in the championship. Then centre at the moment in the relegation zone, along with Keza and Florino, both out the race, as is Reflection as well. Dylan's got another penalty, and that's a cheap penalty there for Dylan, unfortunately, as of course that's beyond the safety car as well. I think that's a lot of frustration then from the bronze champion here. Then Dylan is, unfortunately. God, I don't think Dylan raced here in bronze last season, because of course bronze did only race for the second half of the season today. He only have 11 rounds last season. Bronze did, as did COBALT as well. So fit the safety car being in this other, so we're just waiting for Nunda to catch up to the back then, and we'll be released then for one more time in Australia, as we're going to have a sprint finish then to the end of this Grand Prix as well. Then so Slayer is still in this race. Well, Slayer good points for Slayer tonight. Then he's 12 points behind at TK and FIFA Beefy. He could potentially get behind TK, and he could potentially be getting in front of FIFA Beefy and TK by the end of the season. That's what I want to see. I want to see the safety car coming in this lap. That Liam, has done 20 laps on the medium tires. 13 laps for New Potato. Everyone else has come into the pits. Apart from Lights, who's on 5 laps on soft tires. Sarah's done 6 laps on those medium tires as well. Dylan's done 5 laps on those soft tires. That is the strategy calls for the drivers up and down the field. Let's stick with the penalties for now then, because we're going to be back racing in Australia. So now Liam, who's the 4th leader in this race, to unleash, who's to back the safety safety car pack up then, and to go again. And that's how action-packed this Grand Prix has been in Silver tonight then. Thank you very much for getting up your Mondays as well to watch ALR. Absolutely a privilege for you guys to join me tonight then. Right now we're back racing here in Australia then, out of the final turn. And nope, that's not the final turn, that's the final turn. We're away and cooking on gas and here we go. And look at this then, no one can overtake until start finish time. Nobody then. We've seen that in gold last night, not last night, last season then. Clarkey is on the outside then. I don't think that's going to be too wide there for Clarkey. He's got the tire life, but he hasn't got the time now, has he? There's only 2 laps to go. Liam Neeson have really pushed, doesn't he? So Clarkey is on the outside. New Potato is getting a squeeze there. Yellow flag as Dylan is off the circuit, and New Potato forcing Clarkey off the circuit there potentially. And then we got young Tommy getting overtaken by Lights as well. Goodness gracious me, New Potato then is very much that car is a goodness me, it's as wide as me after a buffet. Fantastic there for New Potato. Goodness gracious me now. But look, oh, he's gone for the double. He's up the inside. Oh, contact. That's contact there. And now he's sliding down Clarkey. I'm wondering if he may have should have waited then, but there's whoa, someone's disappeared. Someone has disappeared there, and that's Lights who's disappeared, I think. Where's he gone? Goodness gracious me, that's not allowed in the rule book there. Teleportation is against the law in Formula 1 there. Shocking behaviour there from Lights there. I think he's dropped down to 8 for some reason though. I'm not sure why that's happened in Serious Rush, but he's got past Gordo, or has he then? No, because Gordo's not going to let him through there. As Gordo showing Serious Rush on the older wheel there. Serious Rush not able to get through there. Liam, has not been able to extends lead then. He's got no penalties, Liam, hasn't he? He needs to keep within 3 seconds of New Potato. In 6 seconds of Clarkey as well. And who is that? My goodness me. Well helped there from Clarkey. Great stuff indeed. But however, because of that, he has lost out then. And Clarkey has gone from third to fourth here. Because of that. But I've got to say, I was very impressed indeed. Yellow flag Lights out the Grand Prix. Unfortunately, we didn't see what happened to the Lights then, but he just teleported off the back of this battle here. Unfortunately then. Liam then is leading this race then. So yeah, to Liam then. Of course, the super sub here tonight, and he has got the gap of 3 seconds there, but young Tommy, who's got no penalties at all, then good stuff indeed there for young Tommy. Bradfield is on the cusp then of getting his best result in his LR Silver career. He is up in the 5th position, but he could get on the podium in this one. There he is in the background. Bradfield is there. Oh my golly gosh, then Gordo could be on the course for 4th position. Serious Rush with 5th as well. That's the best result of the season so far, and goodness gracious me, absolutely incredible stuff. That is Becca's own just realised that Liam has been the Aston Martin. Yes, indeed. So he's leading this race at the moment now, Liam is there. And look, it's the cars all over the show here, going down into the going down to turn 30 as well. As unfortunately, Lights there feels a bit aggrieved about what's happening in this race. Into the final turn, the second to last turn. Noonan's out of the Grand Prix as well. And into the final couple of corners. And Liam, is going to be out of the final turn. He's going to win the Silver race, and this is 3rd Grand Prix win of his career in Silver. Liam wins the Australian Grand Prix. Fanjo's out of the race right at the back of the field there, which means that Sarah's going to get some points there. I'm not sure what happened at the end of that race then for Sarah and Fanjo to be so far down. Then Dylan gets 2 points as well, and drops the gap down to 15 then in his battle to get back into the promotion spot as well. But it's Liam his 3rd race win of his Silver career on his one-off return then for the Aston Martin team. And Liam, that's a great day then for the Aston Martin team and for Liam, as well. Great 70 there. He hasn't had that winning feeling there for 2 seasons there, but he's back on the top side of the podium. Good stuff there for the Aston Martin and for himself as well. And there they are, spraying a bit of the older bubbly as well then. Absolutely good stuff indeed then. Now let's take a final look at the classification then from the Australian Grand Prix down under here in Melbourne then. And there they are then. So AlphaTauri, Red Bull, and Aston Martin then. Who's the driver of the day? I think it was Liam, wasn't it? But I think my personal driver of the day has to go to Bradfield. Fantastic stuff indeed. He looked strong in qualifying as well. I don't think he got the rub of the green there. Liam, Grand Prix winner, number 3 there for Liam, and of course the super sub performance tonight. Good stuff indeed there. Young Tommy finished 2nd day after starting 16th on the grid there for the champion. Bradfield, that's his best result of his career in Silver. His first podium in Silver as well. Magnificent stuff indeed. Gordo in 4th position. Once again, Gordo 2nd half the season been magnificent, hasn't it? Magnifico. Fifth position is Serge Russian. I think he'll take that. Great start for the Serge Russian there. Penalties cost New Potato down 6th position there. Same with Clarkey in 7th position as well. Marski in 8th position there. Got 5-second penalty. Dylan has lowered the gap down to 15 points. His quest to get into this gold next season. Slayer in 10th position there. Retirements was Fanjo, Nunda, Lloyds, Vitod, Keza, Wilson, Far, Fanjo, Reflections, and Welshman. Now they got disqualified for not knowing the rule book there. So we have now got the two. Now we've got the, I think we've got two drivers in the old box remote now. Liam, you're normally talking to me after bronze then, but usually as a head admin. But tonight you're a driver. That's your third race win of your silver career. You love it here. Absolutely.
With you in a long time as well.
Oh, it really is indeed. I was going to say that's your third win of your silver career, by the way. So you are very impressive in silver. But I'd say it's also the racetrack as well, because you was pretty phenomenal around here last night. What is about Australia?
I don't know. Like, I think it's because it's a street circuit. Like, I usually do all right at street circuits. It's a shame we can't do them all the time, really. I'd probably make a better account of myself, but no.
I'm not sure what happened to you at the beginning of the race.
There
was a group of you right at the back of the field. I think there was 3 or 4 of you at the back after some shenanigans on the opening lap there. How was you feeling after the start of the race? Because it seemed to be all a bit doom and gloom for you.
Yeah, I thought I'd just try and pick a few people off, and then turn 1 got wing damage. And then I went to pit to go for mediums, and that was what was selected at the bottom, but that put me on softs again. And then I thought, actually, if there's a safety car again, like roughly 10 laps in, put the mediums on, I should be alright. And luckily that came out on lap 7, but then the one at the end, I thought that was going to be it. I had 2 warnings, so I was trying to hold them off as well, and then when the safety car bunched us all up, I thought Hamilton felt rough the other day.
Well,
but,
you did. You actually repelled the drivers behind, like Hamilton yesterday. Yeah, was you thinking about coming into the pits? And I've got to say, you was very much like in the Hamilton situation, where it was a bit you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. Was you tempted to go in the pits then? And was you if you did, do you think that you would be able to make the time back up?
I knew there'd only be a couple of laps to go, and it is quite hard to overtake, especially if there's no DRS. I knew Clarkey had penalties as well. It was just kind of like I was looking at young Tommy's Delta, and I could tell that he was probably going to do the opposite to what I did.
Really well done.
I couldn't give
as
up
I mentioned, you had 2 wins in silver before
then.
Goodness gracious me, you love silver.
I do. I wanted to race in it before. When I found out I was in gold, I was a bit shocked because I thought, hello, here comes some bad results. But
Not a problem.
it was good
well
to
done
be
indeed
back,
there to Liam as his third
well.
Grand Prix win of his career. Let's go to young Tommy. Tommy, you finished, you qualified 16th today, but I think I've just seen in the comments there that qualified means absolutely nothing, and it certainly does on this account tonight. Then goodness gracious me, what a drive from you today.
Yeah, what can I say? I mean, been a fun race. The first lap was completely horrible. Someone spun right in front of me, gave me wing damage. Basically the same situation as Liam. Yeah, from there on I went on softs. Just tried to get a good position, catch up to the backfield, and yeah.
The one thing that both you and
today.
Liam didn't have today was penalties. How difficult is it not to get penalties around here? Because a lot of drivers was getting a lot today.
Yeah, I mean it is difficult to be fair. I think it's turn. I'm not sure
11
which
12.
turn it is. The quick left right hand, like the quick chicane. Um, yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, it's kind of difficult. Like I was losing time to the cars behind me every lap there because I was just so careful to just stay off pens and probably not spin. Um, yeah, just
Well, it must be
try
working
to
then
wing
because you
it,
did finish in
and
front of them
yeah,
and by
somewhat worked.
taking it steady. And of course, with like not gaining those 3 second penalties, then that's propelled you up into second today. He was getting very fruitful at the end there in that final safety car. After that final safety car came in, oh goodness gracious me, there was elbows everywhere. Was you concerned? Was you concerned about getting wing damage and causing yourself a major result, knowing about the penalties around you?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I try to keep it safe, stay off from the cars in front, because I saw Clarky get quite slippy around the corners, and yeah, just didn't risk anything. I think young lights as well. I just let him through because I knew he got a penalty, and
Well,
yeah,
goodness
just
me,
try to get the
you
podium.
certainly did. You certainly did.
Nothing risky.
Well, I'd say nothing risky. You started 16th and got second. That's quite risky in my book. Fantastic stuff indeed, there, young Tommy, in second position. And then Bradfield, for the first time in your silver career, and maybe in your ALR career as well, actually, you've got a podium. I was saying at the beginning of this race, then, that I was quite astounded that you've never had a podium before. Your best result was fifth, but
Yeah.
today you've eclipsed that with third position. Only a little.
Oh, do you know what, Sean? It's taken a while, hasn't it? It's been mad. It's been mad. I've had a few in, I think, France. I think I had in Singapore. I was close to a podium, but I messed it up. I was thinking I'm gonna blow it here, and I had 2 warnings on my first lap, so I was like, I didn't want to push it. And then I had that Jake on the party with me, just giving me just instructions, just go on the softs. As long as I don't get a penalty, I would have got a podium. So the last few laps, I was just like, I was bricking it.
That's pretty impressive to have, but no penalties then in
just need it.
28 laps around Australia. And you said you was bricking it in the end. Then cool. I bet you that you was very much looking over your shoulder as well. But how difficult was it to keep up the pace there, not overdriving the car, seeing what was going on in front of you?
It was difficult because when you've got Liam and Tommy as well, you think, well, just stay behind. No, I had like literally 2 laps to just stay there, don't get any penalties, and just stay where I am. I was keeping an eye on Gordo as well, but I knew I had the pace over Gordo because I was quicker than him on the hards when he was on the mediums. I know his mediums were dropping off a little bit, but that's the most important thing. He had no penalties as well, so I was thinking if I could stay ahead of Gordo, that is it. I've got it. But yeah, I just thought I thought I was going to bin it, to be honest with you, like I always do.
Well, you're my personal driver
But
today,
I
so
managed to get
fantastic
third.
stuff indeed.
I'll take that.
No worries. Unfortunately, don't get any bonus points for that, unfortunately.
Oh,
But
sure,
maybe
mate.
you could ask Knowlesy. But before we go, though, how difficult was it, like in the middle of the race there, where there was so much going on? Because I noticed that there is a lot of banging wheels in the midfield today and getting elbows out. I must say, do you like with the elbows out, or do you prefer just to stay out of it?
I just prefer to stay out of it, to be honest with you. I was on the hard tyres. I think I started on mediums, I think, and I was on the hard, so I was backing off. I think with Jake, this is dirty air. I was wobbling everywhere, and that was really tough on the hards. I was struggling a lot, and I think I'm just so lucky I managed to get a podium. But it was a tough race, really was. But I'm delighted
And
to get
this is
P3. Take that.
Oh, sorry.
100% all day long. Probably
you never know about Abu Dhabi, but you have you've had 3 fifth places to 3 fifth places this season. This is your third. This is your first podium as well. How would you sum up your season from your point of view?
To be fair, I've done better than I have the first 2 seasons, points wise. But to be fair, like I said, I should have had a couple of third places, to be honest with you, especially Singapore, France, where I got a 3-second time penalty, and I think I finished second, but I dropped down to 5th. But to be fair, I am slightly disappointed where I am. I want to finish in the top 10. I'm not sure on the standings at the minute yet.
I think you're very close now.
Finish,
you're very close, I think. You may even be in the top 10, actually. My maths is appalling. But really good stuff indeed today, Bradfield. Fantastic. My personal driver today, the actual driver today, was the Grand Prix winner, which was Liam Yeo. Came from 19th to finish first there. Young Tommy there, even if he's won the championship, no slowing down for him, is it? Goodness gracious me. From 16th to 2nd as well. Another podium podium there for young Tom. That's his 14th for the season. That is why he's the champion in Silver Fantastic 17. One more round to go for Silver. And I got to say, I think it's going to be a bit of a party, almost as manic as what Toto was last night. Tomorrow night, it is bronze tomorrow night. Then, of course, Field's the champion already. The Constructors' Championship is still very much well and truly on there. It's going to be a tense affair, though, in Australia before we then count down to COBALT as well, with both championships on the line. It can hammer time win the championship in Australia down under. We'll see.